You ain't stopping this, cross my shit, you'll be knocked unconscious, bitch. That's the consequence, I got this, I will not quit. Man, I'm on it, honest, I'm gon' launch quick, then I'm gone. It's just a matter of time before I'm over the climb and moving under my prime. Just quit my 9 to 5, I'm rocking, and they watching, cause it's shocking. Dropping all these top 10 songs, so stopping. It's time to live my life, it's time to live, not die. Ready, but my legs heavy, I don't get it. How come I haven't hit it already? Still working, I'm still learning, I'm still searching, finally earning something, finally turning something called a profit. If I hear you talking shit, don't get caught in it. I'll be popping off and hit your ass, dropping all your shit. Yeah, I promise this, I got promises. You ain't stopping this, cross my shit, you'll be knocked unconscious, bitch. That's the consequence, I got this, I will not quit. Man, I'm on it, honest, I'm gon' launch quick, then I'm gone. It's just a matter of time before I'm over the climb and moving under my prime. Just quit my 9 to 5, I'm rocking, and they watching, cause it's shocking. Dropping all these top 10 songs, so stopping. It's time to live my life, it's time to live, not die.
What is up, people? Alright, obviously having some fun technical issues, like usual. What I wanted to do is I wanted to actually get into a couple of situations, we'll call it. Yesterday on my stream, I had a wonderful guest. That would be the human sheeple, and he likes to assume he's a guess you would call it. I guess the best way to call it is like some kind of investigator. But with that said, I never actually went to check out his information, and I did last night. And we're going to go through what his flat earth proofs are. And you get to see what we're dealing with. What is up, Ted? It's been a minute, man. How you been? What's up, Young? What's up, Stefan? Who else is here? No, we had someone else in here earlier, but I don't remember the name. So, one of the things I definitely wanted to get into... What's up, Groot? One of the things I definitely wanted to get into is the topic at hand... All right, the topic at hand, and kind of just figure out basically what a flat earther's idea of evidence is. Because, again, my main issue is that there is no evidence, yet it's this push for we're proving you wrong. Again, you're not proving that the flat earth is right. You're only showing us what science has explained is going on with the globe. Now, yesterday I had Bernie on, and he was kind of going through all the the different criteria when it comes down to gravity and how it works and space-time and the difference between, mainly what I enjoyed was the difference between Newtonian theory of gravity and Einstein's. I think it was very important to understand that on a small scale, Newtonian still works. And one of the things I heard actually yesterday that it really was perfect was the difference is the Newtonian is the what, and Einstein's is the why. Now, if that's that's the best explanation that I could probably give, when simplifying what it is and how it works, and if they work together or don't work together. I used to use the whole dark matter idea as an argument for flat Earth until I realized that there was no backing for either side. So when I'm hearing these arguments about gravity, when I'm hearing arguments about curvature, I really questioned how you came to the conclusion that there was no curvature and how gravity doesn't work. Remember, when I was a flat earther, I went through these scenarios, and the one thing that I really remember right away was I had to figure out a way for gravity to work, and I had to figure out a way to explain why observations were had that don't work on a flat Earth. For instance, again, I've been playing with that little art thing that you guys have seen for a while now, and every time I do these little projects that kind of show what we observe, it becomes more and more clear to me that I wish I would have been doing that before, because it's very simple to figure these things out. A lot of these tests, observations, experiments, I think a lot of flat earthers make it seem like it's so damn hard to do, when realistically the observation part's the easy part. The diagrams to show what we observe are easy. I literally did two diagrams, or two examples basically, of what we've been trying to explain, and it instantly dawned on me that I wish I would have started doing this earlier, because I probably would have left flat Earth sooner. Because I didn't understand these things. I didn't understand how to even depict these things to my brain and make it visual. Because again, I'm a visual learner. I know a lot of people are. One of the things I will do right off the bat is I'm going to put the link in the chat. It's basically going to be open topic. I'm not really trying to make sure everything is done correctly when it comes to hang on one second, I gotta get this off the screen. I'm not trying to get too detailed on a topic today. One of the biggest issues I'm having right now is my settings, unfortunately. Hopefully the audio all sounds good. Been playing with that a little bit, but like I said, I want to do an open panel. I want to hear ideas. Again, I want to hear ideas on how coming to a conclusion that we live on a flat Earth makes sense. The evidence behind it, the reasoning behind it. I heard someone earlier, I heard Negator, he was over at Uber's, Flat Earth Uber, his live stream. He does a 24-hour, go check that out. But he was trying to explain to certain people just the fact that we have curvature and how the sunset and the sunrise shows examples of this. And I realized right away that even when someone respectfully talks to a lot of these people, they're literally just purposely getting irate and purposely talking down to the Globers because they don't want to have to answer the question. And admit, what's up? Absolutely not. It's not a concave Earth. Period. What's up, True Blue? How you doing? But I never had that disconnect when I was a flat earther. I took everything in, I wrote it down. I took notes. I tried to figure these things out. When I was a flat earther and I was trying to figure out the whole gravity thing, atmospheric pressure seemed logical to me. The problem is that if it was atmospheric pressure, things would almost stay in one spot, because atmospheric pressure affects everything in every direction. We know that because that's how we rate the atmospheric pressure. It's how we know there's a gradient as we climb elevations. But again, maybe I'm understanding it differently than you are. So I say, explain it to me, please. Because again, it doesn't make too much sense to me that we're really trying to figure out where we live, but you don't want to hear anything to do with the globe. I mean, if you really want to know where we live, don't you want to know both sides, weigh both sides, study, examine, test both versions of both sides? Not just assume the globe is lying. Because, again, there are things that everybody can test. Everybody can observe that science tells us, and it's true. What they've explained to us in certain situations that we can do ourselves all adds up. It adds up when I do it. It adds up when Joe Schmo over there does it. It adds up when a guy in Australia does it, UK, you name it. We all see the same observations of the sunrise, sunset. So where is it that the sunrise and sunset does something different for you? One of my biggest problems I had is I didn't look up soon enough. I didn't care about the sun and the moon until the end of my flat earth tender, basically. That was one of the things that really kicked it over to, oh God, we live on a globe. Why? Because the observations that we can make every single day don't work on a flat earth. I made it very clear yesterday that a lot of these flat earth proofs, uploads about the sunrise, sunset, and that idea that you can have a camera set up, a light or a candle, and move that candle straight back away from the viewer, and that depicts exactly what. No, I don't care if you live on a flat or a globe. The sun never moves straight away from you. So how is that an observation, an experiment, or a test that shows we live on a flat earth? It just doesn't make sense to me. Help me make it sense of it. I've been asking Chris to come on because I still want to talk about how he believes atmosphere is the reason why boats go over the curve. Atmosphere is the reason why we see certain things. And it's insane to me. So let me get in this chat, and I'll kind of start reading off until we get someone on the panel. So anti-globalists, yeah, right. They knew the Auroralis existed without even being on the Arctic. Ha ha ha. So much for your I don't know what that's all about. I do know when it comes to the Northern Lights, the only real thing I can add to it is I know that they are capable of making man-made ones. I know HAARP was capable of doing that in 2013. And that's the other thing. We have all these we have technology that plays a factor in a lot of things we probably see too. Are a lot of these Northern Lights 100% natural? I don't know. I know HAARP 100% has created a Northern Lights for themselves. Even when I've heard people say that's not true, I can prove it. 100%. You're correct, Young. Humans can walk upside down, and they don't. Kind of see where you guys are at so I can jump in the conversation. So flat Earth is what we all experience in this reality. Young, can you give me a couple observations that depict a flat Earth? Because when you say stuff like flat Earth is what we all experienced in this reality, or you say stuff like where is it? Human beings can't walk upside down. That's a false claim. First of all, no one's ever said we walk upside down, nor do we walk upside down. And here's the best part. If gravity didn't exist, we would have to explain why people can walk upside down. But because gravity is something, it explains why you are not walking upside down, or someone in Australia isn't walking upside down, or myself. It doesn't work that way. One of the biggest things that I like about this whole debate, flat Earth or globe, is the fact that it opens up the reality of observations. I think something that is more important than actual science itself is the fact that we're able to make observations. Again, you don't need to look in a textbook. You don't need to look anywhere. You can literally go outside not knowing anything about how anything works, and start from ground zero and figure it out for yourself. So what I don't understand is this idea that you can't trust scientists. The idea that science in itself is a lie. If that would be the case, who are you getting your sources from? I've asked this question 1,000 times, and not once have I ever got an answer. The one thing that I definitely know, because it was me a few months ago. There's a large group of people that don't understand a lot of the science that's being explained. And it's not any fault to you guys. Like, for one, as a flat earther, it's pretty damn difficult to get information in, discern which one is good and which one's bad information, and then equate it to your flat earth. And that was one of the hard parts. But at some point, you got to realize that just because the observation doesn't work for you doesn't mean that observation doesn't exist. Because you're making up things that exist to collaborate your flat earth, but yet it doesn't work. Young, you said something about how we experience flat earth in reality every day. The problem is that I asked that question and I still haven't seen you give me examples of observations that show that we live on a flat earth. Now, you're always kind of wrapped up in the fact that you believe you live on a flat earth. You're wrapped up in the arguments, the debates, the endless amount of information you probably have to put into your brain to even understand it, because I did. And I think that's holding you back on just realizing that it's not flat. Forget believing it's a globe. What I don't understand is why aren't you confirming you live on a flat earth? Because there's only two options. You can either start confirming whether or not you live on a flat earth, or just continue to globe deny. When I go through different channels of flat earthers or globers, the one thing I expect is anybody that is vocal about it being flat, or vocal about what their opinion of globers are, I would expect that they would be at the top of their game when it comes to flat earth. Now, again, yesterday, Human Sheeple, who I've had a wonderful history with, came in my chat and basically just threw in a lot of false information. And personally, to me, it offended me only for the fact that he's the reason, or he's part of the reason I left flat earth. Not very many of you probably know about the situation, but yeah, when I was a flat earther, I went over to 24/7, and some asshole named Rig, not Rig from Debate Flat Earth and More. This is another one. He decided he thought it was funny that people were doxing other people. And I stepped up and said, hey, fuck you. That's not cool. And he's like, well, dude, I'm a flat earther. It doesn't matter if you're a flat earther. And it doesn't matter if you're kidding. It doesn't matter if you dislike somebody. Trolls hear that shit and they think doxing is cool. Blah, blah, blah. Things got what led to another. And he decided to start making a bunch of accusations. I told him I told him about me being doxxed and that it was a concern because I have a child, and he decided to take it to that pedo level. And it was like, are you fucking kidding me? Next thing you know, I got 24/7 acting like I'm a fucking agent. Funny enough, I don't know if Human Sheeple realizes it or not, but I recorded the whole fucking thing. The everything that was going on in the chats, the voice, the whole nine. And it literally shows how ridiculous 24/7 handles their situations. Anybody that's been at 24/7 understand something. If you go over there, you know what you're going to find, right? You're going to find young kids who don't know very much about the globe, even less about flat Earth, that they can act like they know so much about and depict how everything they know is wrong. But you don't see any of them coming out of 24/7 to debate, have these discussions on what they believe. As far as they were concerned, understand, like Human Sheeple, he's like their top investigator. He's the one who weeds out the shills. The problem is, I'm not sure if you noticed it or not lately, but the dude talks with a robot voice in all the voice chats now. When you see the videos that I'm going to show you guys today, you're going to realize real quick that Flat Earth has a big problem. You have lunatics having everything to do with either who's around Flat Earth, who's talking in Flat Earth, who's giving information. 24/7 is not a level playing field. 24/7 is a recruiting place. That's where they want to get all the little kids that don't know and understand the globe, and they can spit all that crap to them. And again, I'm bitter. I'm very bitter. Why? Because I still got friends that go around there and hear their bullshit and then come out and then spout that bullshit. I can tell you right now, you talk about this echo chamber that the globe has. Without any sources for flat Earth information, without any empirical evidence to the contrary says it's not flat. I would love for some actual evidence to be presented to me. And here's the best place to do it, because I'm going to let you do it. It's not like 24/7 where the second you say something they don't like, or the second they hear something that won't agree with what their narrative is, they're going to boot you from there. What's that say? That says they're scared you'll find out the reality of what they're doing. Now, I'm done with my rant. What's up, Negator? I would actually, if you want, you can jump on the panel. I'll put the link in there again, because, again, a lot of this rant has to do with the conversation you were having over at Uber's live stream a little while ago, and how just aggressive they got just because they didn't want to have to answer questions. Or the way they were going, that isn't an observation for the globe, it's for the flat Earth. And everything they were saying just didn't even make sense, especially because they weren't willing to show anything for it. But like I said, I'm done with my rant. How you doing, Bob? Bob, you?
Hey, man, I'm here.
All right.
I'm sorry.
All right, no worries.
I'm working on a video right now, and I just happened to see you up, so I thought I'd pop on real quick, and I was just listening to you.
Awesome. Yeah, it's. I mean, you would probably be more frustrated than me because you do a lot of uploads, really detailing and explaining these things. And what doesn't make sense to me is that instead of people taking in the information that you're giving to them. They just refuted it as all lies without even fact checking it.
Well, they have a narrative that they do, and if what you say doesn't follow along with the narrative, they try and figure out some way of dismissing it. You know, I was getting frustrated a little while ago on a chat with Mind of God, and, you know, he was just insistent that we had to measure and mark this particular point. And, you know, I just came up with, just right off the top of my head, I said, you know, I was thinking about measuring that with a 1 foot ruler or a yardstick. Do you think that makes a difference? And then he started to proceed into something that, you know, like, well, you know, that would all depend. You know, yeah. Oh, come on, man.
Yeah, it's little things like that. Earlier, I was listening to Negator in another chat talking about the sunrise and sunset and how we know it's a globe because of. And the everything that the group was saying had nothing to do with observations, evidence, or anything that would even be close to a flat Earth. It was literally telling him, you don't know what I know, so how do you know it's a globe? That's like basically their argument in that hangout was. And he was like, are you serious?
Well, let's prove the flat Earth then.
Well, that's the thing. That's impossible.
No, why don't we try and prove the flat Earth today?
Hey, you know what? That actually kind of sounds interesting.
Yeah, it's a cool, interesting thing. Well, we can do a scientific experiment. I've observed a natural phenomenon. The horizon looks flat to me. Does it look flat to you?
It does look flat.
Well, there we go. Well, let's make a hypothesis that says the Earth is flat.
Okay, well, that means we would be saying, well, our observation of the horizon being flat.
Yeah. So we're going to make the hypothesis that the entire Earth is in fact flat.
Yes.
So let's sit down and let's try and figure out a couple of things that we can do to prove that it's flat. What kind of... We have to have an independent variable and we have to have a dependent variable. So let's think about some independent and dependent variables. What do you suggest?
So do like something like the sunrise, sunset, maybe?
Okay, sunrise and sunset. Well, we can't manipulate that, can we?
No, we can't.
Well, but wait a second. Here, let me put something up on screen here for a second.
All right, go ahead and share. All right, you're presenting, so all you gotta do is
give me half a second here.
Yeah, no worries.
All right, so let me go ahead and present this.
All right.
That would be this. Okay.
I'm not seeing anything yet.
Wonder why it says I'm not sharing. Let's try it again. Well, that's weird. It won't let me share. I guess I have to have this maximized, maybe. No. It says Sean ended my presentation.
Yeah, I was just waiting for you to...
Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, nothing so far.
Okay, for some reason, the little share button's not coming up. Here, why don't you do it?
All right. Yeah, just go ahead and
all right.
Put that in the link.
So I'm going to end my share here. Okay, so that's that. Why don't we go to Google And let's look up the 3 parts of an experiment.
All right, let me go ahead and get this up real quick. And I'll share it in here so we can start from ground zero. Okay, so what are we going to search?
Well, let's go ahead and see exactly what the independent and the dependent variable are.
So we're looking up what they are, or
yeah, what they are.
Okay.
Because I've seen some that says the independent variable is what is varied, and the dependent variable is what is measured. I've seen some that say the independent variable is the variable that is manipulated by the investigator, and the dependent variable is what. I'm trying to figure out if we do this experiment. Let's put your name on it first and my name on it second. So if we use the definition that says the independent variable must be manipulated personally by the investigator. Now, if you manipulate it, that's good, right? Because your name's on the experiment.
Yeah.
But if my name is listed second, can I manipulate it instead of you and still have it be a variable?
I believe so. Yeah, right?
I mean, would that still be scientifically very valid?
Yeah.
All right. What if you and I are working on it? We call my son over my house, and I say, "Okay, you can shoot the laser up now." He would be the one manipulating the variable, and it wouldn't be one of us that's doing the experiment. So, could we have an assistant manipulate the variable and have it still be valid?
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, does it have to be a human that manipulates the variable? Say we're studying chimpanzees. Can we have the chimpanzees manipulate a variable?
Yeah.
Okay, so it doesn't necessarily have to be human. Okay. Let me ask you a question, Sean. Do you think the important thing on the independent variable is who manipulates it, or that it changes?
Oh, that it changes. That'd definitely be the...
Do you think it's immaterial who actually manipulates it?
Say again, what do you mean by material?
Do you think it's relatively immaterial who physically manipulates it as long as it is being manipulated?
Yeah, that's the only real important part, right? Regardless.
Yeah. So, I mean, this thing that they keep raising that, unless you personally manipulate it, it's not science, it's pseudoscience. Do you think that holds any water?
No, not at all.
Well, does that mean that maybe instead of being pseudoscience, say seismology is actually science because the earthquake locations vary according to nature? Yeah. And we just do the readings?
Exactly, yeah. That's science.
How about astronomy? Is that science?
It is science.
But we don't necessarily need to manipulate anything as long as things move in the sky, right? And then we look at the effect that those moves happen.
Exactly. That's the variable change.
Okay, so their stuff is kind of nonsense. So on sunrise and sunset, so that's gonna be our variable, and that changes every day. So what are we gonna measure to prove whether or not the Earth's flat?
Well, we definitely have to observe the sunrise, sunset, and see what it does.
Okay, but what can we measure? Light level, maybe?
Yeah.
Shadows?
Shadows would probably be the easiest.
Okay, so let's go with shadows. On a flat Earth, what should we look for on the shadows? How would we best see the effect of the flat Earth sunrise and sunset on shadows?
Well,
see, we've got to design it.
I wouldn't know how to do that.
That would be a good question, wouldn't it? We got somebody else out here too, don't we?
Brenda tried to jump on, but I think it shut down on her. I'm not sure what happened. But I put the link in the chat though. So,
all right.
I mean, I personally I would think this would be a wonderful opportunity for flat earthers to jump on, because we're going to go through the systematic we're
going to do a scientific experiment to prove the flat earth. So where are the flat earthers? Crickets. Okay, so we got sunrise and sunset. That'll probably have something to do with shadows. Let's think of something else that we could look at. Let's see. Okay, go ahead.
I was going to say maybe the trajectory that we observe throughout the day. You know, the different points of the sun throughout the day.
Would that determine what the sun was or what the earth looked like?
Well, its movement would depict where we live, right? Or how we observe it.
Well, it could just be something going overhead. We wouldn't really know. I've got an idea. How about geometry?
Okay.
Plane geometry. So let's go see. Let's do plane geometry as one.
All right.
Now, what's a shape that we could measure on a plane? I know, a triangle.
Yep.
Now, on a plane, what's the sum of the internal angles of a triangle?
Well, 180.
Okay, it'd be 180 degrees. So if we measured a triangle on Earth between different cities, and then we looked at the angles of that triangle, it'd equal 180 degrees, right?
Correct.
All right. So that's a great one. I think we ought to go with that one. Can we think of another one?
As in for...
Well, let's find a test that we could do that would prove or disprove the flat Earth.
Oh, okay. So, and we're using...
Well, how about objects at a distance?
Yes, that'd be a good one.
All right. How would we phrase that to give a yes or no answer?
Do objects in the distance shrink or what is it? Converge to a point? What is it? To a center? I think it is. Or I don't know how you would phrase what I'm thinking.
All right, I got an idea. All right, let's take 100-meter tall building.
Okay.
Now, how far should we see that building on a flat Earth?
Well, it would be...
We know that we can't see it forever because of the Rayleigh criterion, right?
Yep. Well, yeah, it'd be atmosphere would play a part in that.
Okay, so we got two things that are cooking on this. Let's go with the farthest one first. That's the Rayleigh criterion. Now, the Rayleigh criterion is related to the frequency of light and how close two objects can be before we can't see them as two separate objects anymore. They blend into one.
Okay.
So if we look at the top and the bottom of a building, those are 2 points that are 100 meters apart. And as it got farther away from us, perspective would cause that building to appear to shrink in size, right? And the top and the bottom would get closer
to each other.
In our angle of view, wouldn't it?
Yes.
But there's a critical angle that once it hits that, if it goes any further, we can't see them as two distinct spots anymore. I guess the building would disappear then, wouldn't it?
Yes, it would almost disappear in front of your eyes, the whole building.
Yep. Now, the cool thing about the Rayleigh criterion is you can actually calculate that. You can calculate that angle. Do you know that?
I did. I don't know exactly how, but
well, the formula is 1.22 times lambda, which is the frequency of light, and the frequency of visible light is 380 to 740 nanometers. That's the wavelength.
Okay.
So let's take 500. That would be 500 times 10 to the negative 9 meters. And then you divide that by the size of the aperture. And a human pupil can adjust from 1 to 8 millimeters. Since we were using 5 on the other one, let's say it's 5 millimeters. That would be 5 times 10 to the negative 3 meters, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Roughly.
So we do all that math and we come up with the radians of the angle. And then we multiply that radian by 57. And we come up with an angle in degrees. And that would be 0.0007 degrees. I'm doing this in my head. Are you following along?
I'm actually writing down everything right now.
Check my math.
Well, it's going to take me a while. Keep going.
All right. So, how far, if one leg of a right triangle was 100 meters, how far would the bottom leg of a triangle be before it hit the Rayleigh criterion and disappeared? We need to figure that out. So it's 1.22 times 500 times 10 to the negative ninth divided by 5 times 10 to the negative third, and that'll give us our answer in radians. And then we multiply that whole ungodly mess by 57.
I wouldn't even know where to start.
Okay. And then we take that to the advanced triangle calc. You can do that. Pull up the right angle calculator with explanations. Jesus, you'd think I'd be able to say that. Right. Yeah, right triangle calculator with detailed explanation from the mathportal.org.
From mathportal.org. Okay.
All right.
This one.
You got it up?
No, give me 1 second. I don't see Math Portal. Yeah, that's right. I do suck at Google searching.
That's okay. If you put in right triangle calculator and look for the one with detailed explanation, that's from the Math Portal. You can pull that up.
Oh, okay. Found it. Perfect. There it is.
Needless to say, I found this. I'm working on a video with this right now. That's why I know these numbers off the top of my head. All right. So you got that pulled up?
Yes, sir.
Under right triangle calculator, it says select value to find. We want leg B. Now, we know leg A is 100 meters, right?
Yes.
And we know angle alpha is 0.007 degrees, right?
So hang on. Go backtrack 1 second. So leg B is what we know is the 1.22.
No. Leg B is what we want to find. It's a select value to find.
Yeah, okay. I'm sorry.
Enter known value. Leg A, which is the height of the building, would be 100 meters, right?
Yes.
And angle A, which is our view angle, or angle alpha, is our view angle, and that would be 0.007.
All right.
You got them in?
Yes.
Hit the blue button, and the magic will occur. How far does it say leg B is up there in meters?
where am I looking at? Okay, so the number is B is equal to
818,511.1318 meters.
Yes.
Maybe we ought to ask Nathan Oakley how many kilometers are in 818,511 meters.
Let's find out.
How many kilometers would that be?
We can always find out.
You just divided by 1,000, Chief. Move the decimal point.
Well, that's not the
3
easy
to the
way to
left.
do it, man.
That's 818.5 kilometers. So, on a flat Earth, we should be able to see a 100-meter building at 818.51 kilometers. So, all we have to do, since we're using a lot of fives, let's go out and find a picture of a 100-meter building from sea level, at sea level, and we'll take a picture of it from sea level 500 kilometers away. And we should be able to see that because it's well within the Raleigh criteria of what we can see, right?
Yep.
Okay, so that's simple. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go find a 100-meter building and take a picture of it 500 kilometers away. And if we can see it, there's flat. That's absolute proof, isn't it?
Yes, that would be.
Good. Now, let's go back up to plane geometry. Let's take 3 cities. Let's take New York City. Let's take Los Angeles, California. And where do you want to go for the last one? Anchorage, Alaska, sound good to you?
Sounds great.
All right. Now, let's go to a program called Sky Vector.
All right. There we go. Found that one pretty quick.
That was pretty easy, wasn't it? Boy, that's a shit ton of dots, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right, so let's write a triangle with New York, Los Angeles, and Anchorage on it. A and C.
Where the hell am I going to find those? Damn, I got to zoom way.
All right, I'm just going to write a piece of paper.
Wait.
Now, Anchorage is going to be on top, and we're going to call that PANC.
I don't even know what the hell I'm doing on this program, man. Okay.
I'm working on it. No, I've just got a piece of paper out right now, and I wrote down PANC near the top left corner. Right underneath it, I'm going to write LAX.
Okay.
And then to the right on the other edge of the paper, I'm going to write JFK.
All right.
So I've got 3 points here, right?
Yes.
Now, let's go right under where it says Sky Vector. You see something that says flight plan?
Yes. Yeah.
Let's do a flight plan.
Okay.
Let's leave LAX. That's a departure airport.
So I'm going to go to LAX.
And then right underneath it, it's going to say destination. We're going to put PANC there.
Where is destination? Okay, I got to pick it first.
Departure is LAX.
Okay. And then looking for departure. Or
Did you hit the little button that says flight plan, or the little menu item that says flight plan?
I did now. Okay, so
Can't
departure.
make a flight plan without opening a flight plan.
Okay, so LAX.
LAX.
Okay. Destination.
PANC.
PAC.
PANC.
NC. Okay.
Now, do you have a flight path there that's got a magenta line? It says Los Angeles International, Ted Stevens, Anchorage.
Yes, that's exactly what it
Great.
says.
See where it says Navlog down there?
Yes.
Click on that.
All right.
All right. There's your flight plan, Chief. See where it says waypoint?
Yes.
So we're going from KLAX to PANC. And it's going to say direct. It's going to give you some wind speeds and stuff like that.
Okay, yeah.
You see where it says track WCA, TH, and VAR?
Yes.
Okay, if you look at TH, you see how it says 321.
Yes, 321 degrees.
Okay, so it's 321. Close that window out. Now let's go back here, and instead of going to LAX, or we're going to start with KLAX, and then we're going to change Anchorage to JFK. Another magenta line?
Yes, sir.
Great. Hit Navlog. It says KLAX to KJFK.
Yes, sir. And
Under true heading, it says 65 degrees.
yes, sir.
All right. So at LAX, we have an angle, right? Between 321 degrees and 65 degrees. So how many degrees is that going to be? Well, let's see. To get up to 360 degrees, we've got to go 39 degrees, right?
Yes. Okay.
And then we have to go another 65 degrees down to 65, right?
Yes.
So let's see, that's 104 degrees, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so that's the angle for that corner of the triangle, right? Let's go back and do it again. Now, and let's get rid of KLAX and go to JFK. KJFK in the top.
Okay.
And then we're going to go to PANC. Right?
Got it. Go to the.
All right. Let's hit Navlog. So, what the hell? Hang on, I got a problem here. Here we go. So true heading between JFK and Anchorage is 311 degrees, right?
Yes.
All right. Now, let's close that out. Let's go JFK, LAX.
Get my cursor up there.
And we'll hit Navlog again.
Okay, so we're gonna go JFK
JFK to LAX.
to LAX.
And that gives me an angle of 263 degrees, right?
263.
What's the difference between 263 and 311? Let's see, we got 37 plus 11 would be 48 degrees, right?
You're almost there. Yes.
All right. Well, let's close that out and let's go up to Anchorage. Dress warm. PANC is our departure airport. And we're going to go to LAX.
All right. So we're ready to LAX, so exist.
And I got a true heading of 131 degrees.
131.
Is that what you get?
Yes, sir.
Close that out. Now, instead of going from Anchorage to LAX, let's go from Anchorage to JFK.
Okay, so PAC2.
Hit nav log again. What do we have here? 77 degrees, right?
77 degrees.
Let's see, that's 23 plus 31, 54 degrees, right?
Yes, sir.
So let's see, 104 plus 54 plus 48. Wonder what that equals. 12, 16, right? Carry the 1, 0. Carry the 1. How many degrees does that come up to, Sean?
That'd be 180.
What is 104 plus 40 plus 54 plus 48? Because we just figured the angles.
10, 260, 206.
Well, that's interesting, isn't it?
It is.
That's a triangle with 206 degrees of internal angles. What does the triangle have to have on a flat surface?
180.
But yet we have 206.
Well, that would mean that there has to be some extra area for that. There are extra degrees.
How can we get 206 degrees on a flat surface? That can't be, can it?
Nope, not even close.
Huh.
And
You think we can see a 100-meter building from 500 kilometers?
I don't think so. I don't think so at all.
Well, shoot, that's another problem, isn't it?
It is.
That's a big problem. We're having a little trouble proving the flat Earth here, aren't we?
I think a lot of people have that issue.
Yeah, but I mean, I wanted the Earth to be flat, though.
Well, you can always.
That was my desired outcome.
You know, you could always like.
Son of a gun, the
truth.
data's just not matching it, is it?
It definitely isn't.
Would that be what they call a null hypothesis, like the Michael Morlison Morley experiment that was looking for the ether? What did they find out about ether in that? I guess it wasn't there, was it?
Not in their experiments. It did not.
I'm kind of thinking that we're missing a lot of flatness in our experiment. The data just doesn't agree with it.
It doesn't agree at all.
Huh. I guess we ought to go back to the drawing board then.
Now,
huh?
just so we can make sure that we did it right, or that what we just did would depict what we obviously are trying to figure out with the shape of the Earth. Is there any point in what we just did that you basically can falsify something and still get the answer?
Well, what I tried to do was I tried to prove the flat Earth, and it seems that the evidence, the first thing that we did was we calculated the Rayleigh criterion, and we took a building and, we can see it at 40 kilometers perhaps, or at least part of it, but it's completely disappeared by 45 kilometers. Yet, if the Earth was flat, we should see it out to 500 kilometers. I'm confused.
I guess we'd have to. Now, I have a good question. Because this didn't work in our hypothesis of flat Earth.
Yeah.
Do you move on, or do you try to figure out where this went wrong?
We could look for sources of error to try and figure out where we went wrong somewhere. We could submit it to peer review. Let's submit it to peer review. Let's have all the flat earthers come out and test where we could have been wrong with these.
So, I would like a flat earther to come on, but if not, at least in the chat, can you figure out maybe where we went wrong in that the testing of our hypothesis?
Yeah, I'm not looking at chat. Let me get on YouTube here and see if anybody's even out there.
Yeah, I'm looking. I'm not seeing anything that. So Fletcher, I'm sorry. What we're doing basically is we're trying to prove flat Earth. So what we did is we triangulated using flight plans to see if what we would to test whether or not our observation would show flat. Correct? That was a good explanation for what we did.
Well, the problem that we're running into is, let's see, Fletcher sits down and says that flat earthers are going to say that what we did was wrong or flawed.
Well, that's why I asked,
but,
is there something you could have falsified in there?
But the problem that you run into is if I tell you the bathroom's down the hall on the right, it doesn't mean anything other than a location that there it is. All right, I can point to it, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like down. You can argue that down is the direction in which time slows, or it's towards the center of gravity, or blah, 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 blah. Or you can sit down and say down is towards the center of mass of the Earth. I'm not implying that the center of mass is doing anything, but there is a physical location of the center of mass of Earth. I can point to it. It's down. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't really care how they try and say that we did the map wrong. The bottom line is, if you're sitting in Los Angeles, Anchorage is that way and New York is that way. Mm-hmm. And if you fly in a straight line in either of those directions, you're going to end up in Anchorage or New York. And the distance, you can point to Anchorage and you can point to New York, and there's an angle between your arms. That's all we did was we measured it.
And another thing that we would do to verify our answer is give it to the flat earthers. I put the link in the chat, so any flat earther out there, I put the link in the chat. You can do exactly what we did, and again, check our results. The fact that we know a triangle it would on a flat Earth it would equal out to 180 degrees, and we didn't get 180 degrees. Now, again, the link's in the chat. Feel free. If you need
There's the airport.
Yes. Let me go ahead. Oh, perfect. Thank you. That's exactly what I was gonna bring up. I mean, now,
what you have to do is you have to measure it from each corner. So if you start in Los Angeles, you got to say, well, the heading to Anchorage is that way, and the heading to JFK is that way. And then when you get to JFK, you can say LAX is that way, and Anchorage is that way. And then same thing in Anchorage. New York's that way, Los Angeles is that way.
Yeah, and I mean, realistically, I can't see where we went wrong in that at all.
Now that map you have up there with that magenta line, that curved magenta line, that's not an arbitrary curve. That is the shortest distance over the ground between those 2 points. Now, if you look there, you can see there's actually little green circles. Those are airports reporting VFR weather, actually. You will literally, if you leave New York, you will fly directly over that little line of 3 airports that you see there by Hudson Bay. You know, about 7 o'clock to Hudson Bay. Mm-hmm. It goes over 3 airports, and you will literally fly over them.
Yeah, I'm seeing it would be Island Lake Airport, Thompson Airport, and Lynn Lake Airport.
Yeah, here, I'll pull them up. What's this one here? Thompson Airport, Lynn Lake Airport, yep. And here's another one up here, Dead Man Valley. That's CXDK. That's a weather station.
Okay.
And it goes directly over those airports.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, that's not just a randomly generated line. That is literally the shortest distance between those airports.
Now, if you made a straight line between the 2 airports, would the calculations still add up, or would it be wrong?
It would be wrong.
Okay, so in testing to see if we did anything wrong, at the same time they could say, all right, well, they could do that, right?
Let's prove something. Oh, now, cool. This thing right here, you've got a nav log, right?
Yes, I have one up.
Now, the distance there is 2,941.9 nautical miles.
Yes.
Okay. So let's go back here to sky vector and straighten this line out.
Right.
So
how do you do that? Or kind of straighten it out.
All right. So what you can do is, you see where that line is by Lynn Lake Airport?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
All right. If you hold your cursor right over the magenta line, it'll form a cross.
Yes.
And why don't you drag that straight down to Prince Albert Airport? Just kind of draw it straight down, and there's a green dot there that, you know, so it's kind of straight between those 2 points.
Okay. Straight down?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, okay, I see it. Yeah.
All right. Drag it right there, and when you let the cursor go, a little thing will come up. It says Prince Albert Glass Field, and then you can hit plan.
Let me make sure.
That adds it to the flight path.
Okay, so where it says, well, I want to make sure I'm on the right one. The CYQD, is that the one I'm supposed to be at?
CYPA.
PA. There's a lot of green dots. Where is that?
It's kind of like at the center of an intersection right there.
From those, let's see.
Here, I'll tell you what. Don't do anything with it. Just leave PANC and KJFK on the flight, on the departure and destination.
Yeah.
In the big white box underneath it, write CYPA. And hit return.
Ah, okay. Perfect.
All right. Now hit navlog.
Okay, so navlog.
Yeah.
Yeah, our distance definitely changed.
Yep. So our distance, we've got 2 legs. One's 1490.5. And the other one is 1495.1. 0.1. What's 0.6? 5891. 2. Excuse me. So now our total distance is 2985.6 compared to 2941.9.
Yeah, it's a big
Now
difference.
that's a little longer.
Yeah.
Now, if you straighten out those two little bows that we have there too, we're going to add some extra miles to it.
All right, let's see how much I can get this straightened. All right. That's some...
You see what I mean? If you try and force that to be a straight line, all you're doing is adding miles. If you leave the bow in it, even though it looks longer, it's actually the shortest distance. That's called a great circle course.
Ah.
And if you were to stretch a piece of string on a globe between Anchorage and New York City, it would follow that exact path.
So wait a minute. That also means when people are looking at flight paths, like they like to go to flight 24, and they say like that all those things don't make sense, and that's how they lie about the distances and stuff.
Yep.
You can't lie about those things because you fly them, you drive these distances.
Dude, an airplane only has a certain amount of gas.
Mm-hmm.
If you pump the numbers and add 3,000 extra miles to it, they're going to end up in the ocean.
Yeah, see, it just doesn't work.
Because all airplanes land eventually, and they land unexpectedly if they run out of gas, but they still land.
Yeah. Yeah. So, man, so not only does this show why it's not flat, because the mileage doesn't add. So flat Earth, the mileage wouldn't even, none of the mileage, none of the landmarks basically would add up at all.
Nope. And that's real easy to see.
So that means we could even do that with, say, like LAX, Vegas, in Texas. No, you know what I mean, right? Like,
yeah. The problem is when you get into the smaller distances,
mm-hmm.
it's a little less pronounced.
Okay, so it'll only be a few miles
towards 180 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
But if you do, if the circumference of the triangle you're doing is like 8,000 or 10,000 miles, it's going to be pretty obvious.
Okay, so you go longer so you can see, so it's more of an obvious
Just bring
difference.
it out some.
Okay. Yeah, but regardless, if you try to go straight, your mileage will go off, which means from 100 miles, you'll be off as well, though.
Yeah, but you only be off a couple hundred yards or 100 miles.
Well, if you're really trying to, if you're honestly trying to figure it out, and you are only using a short mileage, those little increments that, like you said, few yards, but that will matter still. Yeah,
but you see, the problem that you run into is that you're going to have a certain amount of error
mm-hmm.
in your course, for example, if you were to try and fly this. And that error is just your ability to precisely follow the course. The bigger the course, the less that error becomes in the overall scheme of things. If you have a really short course, where, the difference between yes or no is, say, 50 feet. If you kind of drift a little bit on one of those legs, or you make an error in 1 degree in your math, that'll get rid of the difference. But if you have a bigger course, it's pretty obvious. Now, I think that there is no question in your mind that 206 degrees is more than 180.
Yeah, just a little bit.
If it came out to 182,
it'd be...
maybe I got a rounding error here.
No.
But you got to make it big enough that the error, the difference between yes and no is obvious.
Yeah.
And you know as well as I do that you're not going to be able to see a 100-foot building at 500 kilometers.
No, just not going to happen. Yeah, just not going to happen at all. That would also change the horizon, and then if it was flat, and we did all the things that we were doing, the horizon would be much further away, wouldn't it?
Well, how big's a ship? Let's say a ship is 100 feet off the surface of the ocean. If you apply the Rayleigh criteria and put 33 meters in on that triangle calculator, well, here, let's see. I'll do it right now. I think I still got it listed. Yeah, I do. Let's go leg A. Instead of being 100 meters, let's make it 30 so that the ship's about 100 feet tall. That means that you could see a ship from sea level 245.5 kilometers away.
Yeah, that's definitely not. It's not happening.
That ain't gonna happen, is it?
No, and I don't think anyone can say they've seen that.
Well, if you want to try and say that the reason things vanish is due to convergence or some other flat Earth bullshit, there's the number you got to beat, man. You show me a ship 200 miles offshore from your toes in the ocean. You show me a picture of a whole ship 200 kilometers away. Then we'll talk. If not, I can tell you within a mile or so of when that ship's going to go over the horizon based on a globe. You know why? Because the Earth is a freaking globe.
So just in the fact that we were trying to prove the flat Earth, we actually came up with
a null result.
Yes, and also the fact that
the Earth cannot be flat.
It can't be.
No.
The calculation you just made for a 100-foot boat, 100-foot tall boat on a flat Earth.
Seek and find. Oh, thank you. Great question. Great question. Are you guys taking the atmosphere into consideration? All right, seek and find. I say that according to the Rayleigh criteria, we should be able to see a 100-foot tall boat at 200 kilometers. How much do you think atmosphere is going to account for that, especially since that boat's going to go over the horizon at 20 kilometers? Okay, so are you saying atmospheres will account for a limitation of visibility of 180 kilometers? Let's do this. Here, let's look it up together, guys. Let's make sure I spell it right, too.
Wait. The problem I would see there is that the atmosphere and our atmospheric conditions aren't the same everywhere. But
well, no, he said, what about atmospheric conditions? Okay. Not a problem. Hang on just a second. Let's find it. Hang on. I'm going to put it in here.
Now, seek and find, what type of atmospheric conditions would you contribute to it? Because, there are obviously different variables, right? Foggy days.
All right. Yeah. Bottom line is seek and find. Present your evidence that it's atmosphere. All right. Show me the equation that will do that and predict it. I'm pulling up the equation for you. I'm just locating it real quick.
All right.
So you don't just get to say, what about atmosphere? Now you get to prove it, seek and find, and you're going to have to do some math.
See, the problem with that your question, seek and find, is whether it's a yes or a no. There's a middle you still have to explain. Personally, to me, I already see the problem in this test. I'm not sure if you're taking into account that atmosphere is not the same everywhere. Yet, the observation of a boat going over the horizon it's consistent, but the atmosphere isn't consistent. That would be to me, that seems like it'd be an issue. Because okay, I see you're saying, asking if we were just taking into account.
Well, you've got to show me how it's going to account for 80 kilometers of missing visibility.
And I would ask for it to be in multiple locations, because in multiple locations on a globe, the horizon and a boat going over the curve happens at about the same time, the same distance, same reasons. Except for on foggy days. Yes, your atmosphere is absolutely everywhere, but it is definitely not the same everywhere.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, it's everywhere. No, I agree with it. I absolutely agree that atmospherics will have an effect on this.
In every observation too, yeah.
He's got to be able to prove that the atmospheric effect will account for 180 kilometers of lost resolution.
I'm going to tell you right now, so you can find that's impossible.
Well, no, I mean, he can do it.
But see, the reason I say it's impossible is because he would then have to observe it in foggy weather. He would have to observe it in rain. He would have to observe it on a clear day. He would have to observe it on a hazy day.
I'll make a deal with you, seek and find. Let's just make this easy. You pick the most perfect day that you can find. Perfect. And you show me a 100-meter building from top to bottom from 200 kilometers shore to shore. That's only 200, not 800. I cut the distance in by 3/4 for you. You just show me one from 200 kilometers shore to shore. That's going to take up an awful lot of atmospheric interference and give you an awful lot of wiggle room if you're even remotely close.
And just to elaborate on what you said, so you can find, you said exactly. You just said it on a foggy day, it would change, right? Yes, you wouldn't see as far. The problem is, again, it could be foggy in the morning, clear in the afternoon. So you're going to get two different observations.
Day and just show it to me from 200 kilometers. That's all I'm asking.
And remember, we're just at the observational point right now. That's the crazy part to me. Again, seek and find. If you're gonna say you don't, I'd rather you say you don't know how to calculate using the atmosphere as a variable in it. It's easier to say that. I'm just gonna give you the cheat sheet on that answer. Okay, I can tell you right now. To claim its atmosphere, you are claiming that 100 different effects of atmosphere do the same thing.
Well, no, what he's doing is he's saying that my house moved to the next lot because I have mice.
Yeah.
I mean, that's wonderful. I may have mice. Can my mice account for the fact that my house is now 200 feet west of where it was when I left work this morning? Simply saying that I have mice and therefore the house moved doesn't cut it there, Chief. You have to give me the math.
Because that math would also help us understand how you came to that idea rather than it just being an idea.
You know, what you have is a hypothesis. Now prove it.
It heads up, a P900 ain't going to do it. And that's the thing. It's the one thing that I'm not seeing happening that you would expect to see, that I would say right off the bat when this observation, this hypothesis is being put to the test, especially for you seek and find. It'd be better and easier for you to say you can't or you don't know how to make those observations with atmosphere as a variable. Much easier. I'm helping you right now. Much easier if you just say that rather than keep saying this is wrong, or you do this, you do that. Much easier. Just giving you the heads up on that one. Because the one thing that I see is you mentioned fog. Fog wouldn't give you the results that we have knowing where the horizon is, why our observations are what they are. Atmosphere, it can't. Atmosphere isn't consistent. Atmosphere isn't uniform.
Atmosphere does not account for the amount of distance loss that we have. If he's going to claim that it does account for that 180 kilometers, he has to show how it does. Because I'm not going to sit down and stand by while he just says, well, no, ni na no, for reasons. You don't get reasons, Chief. You want to run with the dogs out, you know, the big dogs out here. You come with some game, man.
See, fine. I have no problem doing a one-on-one. The issue with what I see you wanting to do a one-on-one is I'm not claiming to know all. I'm not claiming to understand all. The difference is that right now what we're doing is we're breaking down how to figure these things out, and just the blatant denial of it being possible, what we're saying, or willing to even weigh what you would need to do to prove what you're saying. Like literally right now, Dr. Bob is giving you a way to show it's a flat Earth. I would jump at it if you really believe that's how it would work. Okay, I didn't see that seek and find. No problem. I'm sorry. I didn't see that you were working. But anytime we can do the hangout anytime. Doesn't matter to me. Just let me know. Because again, the issue I'm having, and I've noticed this now for the past probably last 4 live streams. When I have someone on this panel that's breaking things down, like Dr. Bob is, or Barney did yesterday, no flat earthers want to come up and explain their version of it, or explain where either one of the two gentlemen were wrong. If I knew something was to be the way I thought it was, I would want to explain it. I would have ways to explain it. But again, flat Earth, you're not taking any of these observations or any of these hypotheses and working them to fruition.
Well, the bottom line is we just disproved the flat Earth.
Yeah.
So now there's no question whatsoever. The burden of proof is now on flat Earth to try and overcome the fact that I just destroyed it.
And again, what you just showed us isn't difficult. I mean, you probably have to do it a few times to understand, like to flow through it like you did. But I understand what you were explaining. I understand why we did it the way we did it. I don't see where the disconnect and just pure disregard for any of the things we just did plays a factor in this. Seek and find any flat earther, basically, not seek and find any flat earther in there. If you took the same steps that we just took, as we try to verify or triangulate these flight patterns, I don't see why you don't have the same scratch piece of paper with all the same numbers, all the same coordinates, and trying to figure it out for yourself, and then coming into the chat going, hey, you guys went wrong here. This is the actual number, blah, 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 blah. Those things aren't happening. Don't you see that being an issue for Flat Earth? No, you're not scared. Seek and find. Stop that shit. I know damn well you're not. But at the same time, matter of fact, how many flat earthers in my chat, or listening to this now, or listen to this in a later time, have anything we talked about written down, or your correction in what we just did? There's a problem there. Because if you said, I have proof for flat Earth, and you started listing out, doing the same thing, giving us coordinates, equations, and explaining how you did it, I would write it down. I'd write every single word you said down to try to figure out whether or not you're correct. And then if I saw something incorrect, I would be the first one on the panel to say, hey, this is the issue.
Well, the thing is, at least they can replay this tape.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's all right with you, I wouldn't mind making an episode out of this.
Absolutely.
I'll give you a little bit of YouTube love.
Absolutely. Thank you, sir.
And but I think that this is a logical one. I mean, we've got two people that are sitting down explaining this very clearly, and got some good questions. Seek and Find brought up some good questions there. And we kind of went over that. There's a few things I'd like to follow up on. I've got to find that freaking equation for the atmospheric corrections, because quite frankly, you think this was difficult? Although it's a pretty simple equation, the other one takes an entire sheet of freaking paper. And, I mean, that thing's really complex. So anybody that wants to say, that's kind of what I was doing with Seek and Find. I was just going to pop that up. Well, here you go. There's the math. Show your work. Send it to me. I'll look at it. Because I'm sure not going to go through it.
Yeah, it's again, you did put a tall task on, in my opinion, Seek and Find, but right off the bat, he should also have, right off the bat, shouldn't have said atmosphere, unless, weighing those variables. But I could tell you now, I'm pretty sure that equation is hectic as it is, but I'm going to just flat out say it's impossible to say atmosphere plays a factor in where we depict the horizon, or how things are, the curvature of Earth. It just doesn't make sense. Chris has been coming on talking about, or been everywhere talking about, how he believes atmosphere plays a big part in our observations, like you are, Seek and Find. And the problem is it's the same narrative with the same result of no result.
Well, the problem that they run into is that it's very easy to say no. Okay, fine. Why?
Mm-hmm.
Show me why. How do you feel when people just arbitrarily tell you can't do something?
Makes you want to do it more.
Well, not only does it make you want to do it more, but who the hell are you to tell me I can't do that if you can't explain to me why I can't do that?
Exactly.
All right. Well, I got nothing against Seek and Find. I get frustrated with them sometimes. But, the honest to God truth is fine. I don't have a problem with you objecting it. Present your evidence, sir.
Well, me and Barney were talking about yesterday, science, you guys can make science sound evil and lie, but science is actually plays in your favor, because all science wants to do is disprove everyone else's science. I mean, flat Earth is the best opportunity for you to show how science lies, show where we're lying about these observations and tests and studies and experiments. I mean, literally, you have so many avenues to prove flat Earth, and no one's taking any of them. I mean, 2 days ago, I listened to the Mind of God talk about wanting to do some field tests. Awesome.
Well, the problem is Mind of God has a enormous comprehension deficit.
Yeah.
And, you know, how many times today did we tell him, look, the equation to figure out how much of a building is hidden over distance has nothing to do with the distance to the horizon. And he's insisting to rigorously define this. You have to go out and put a rowboat or a balloon or something on the exact point of the horizon. You know, I can show you where it is mathematically. I don't need to go there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I could sit down and say, okay, well, yeah, okay, I'll accept your definition of a horizon, but I want a red balloon midway between the shore and the horizon. Then I want blue balloons at 1/3 increments offset left and right to that red balloon between me and the horizon. And then I'll consider finding another thing that I want to throw on it just to try and deny the reality of what you just showed me. But I'll insist on another criteria that you have to meet before I'll consider it. You know, I want a white rowboat, and I want a power boat with an Evinrude 140 horse on it and a water skier. Okay, I can put all this nonsense criteria in here. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because I can sit down and say, okay, well, there's the Sears Tower. Bottom 875 feet's missing. I can calculate the radius of the Earth from my position here on the Warrens Dunes. Done. I don't need to know the exact location of the horizon between me and the Sears Tower. I just need to know how much of the Sears Tower I can see. Yep. And how high I am off the ground.
Which is another aspect of it. You guys realize that the higher elevation, the more you see, works with the globe.
Yeah. And what difference would it make on a flat Earth?
I can tell you.
The problem is your visual angle.
Mm-hmm.
The apex of that is at your eyeballs. It has nothing to do with how close you are to the ground. It forms an angle straight out from your eyes.
Yes.
It's not an angle between your eyes and the ground. You know, they don't even know basic optics. And they love to talk about perspective, and they can't. You know, can a line of perspective cross? No, it can't. Can something that is something that is beneath the vanishing point ever appear above it? No, it cannot. Not under real perspective. Likewise, something that is above the vanishing point, like the sun, can never go below the vanishing point, ever. That's not perspective. That's fantasy.
Yep. And I just popped up on the screen basically exactly what you're talking about. Again, this is exactly what is depicted in all the observations. Higher in elevation you go, the further the horizon is. Now, I did one for a flat Earth as well, but it's actually so simple. I don't really need to show it. I can if you need me to in the chat, but the way you wouldn't have a horizon basically on a flat Earth is what I came from it when I did mine. Well, you would never. You would
have a Rayleigh criterion horizon at the vanishing point, which would basically change with the frequency of light, because the frequency of light is 380 to 740 nanometers. I shouldn't use the word frequency. That's the wavelength of light that the human eye can see.
Okay.
Each end of that spectrum will have a different critical angle according to the Rayleigh criterion, which means that your horizon would start off at one color and then go to another color, and there would be depth to it. So basically it would be kind of a multicolored blurry line.
Okay, yeah. I see what you're saying now.
You know, and that would be your horizon on a flat Earth. And how far away do you think it would be? Well, if it's a 100-meter building and it's 818 kilometers away, how far away would it be to swallow up the Sears Tower at 1,450 feet?
Yeah, it would be no problem.
It'd be a heck of a lot further, 1,000 kilometers away, maybe. Because everything in it would have to be, you know, how far away would it have to be to swallow up Mount Everest? All right. Because if you can't see Mount Everest from here and there's not a mountain between you and it, that means that the only way on a flat Earth that could disappear would be by the Rayleigh criteria, and it'd have to be many, many thousands of kilometers away, or else you could still see it. It'd be small, but it would be big enough for you to see with your eye. And that's not even adding a telescope to it.
Well, even more important than that,
telescope, things are going to get ridiculous real quick.
Now, if you're in the United States and you look in either direction, you should actually see mountains in between Mount Everest, because it's flat. So
yes. Well, where I am here in Michigan, I would see the Appalachians and the Rockies quite clearly if the world was flat. You know, if the Earth was flat, I could easily see, you know, most definitely the Rockies, and and very likely the Appalachian Mountains, which are about 8,000 feet high.
Yeah, because I'm in California, so the Rocky Mountains should stand out like no one's business to me.
You mean you can't see the Rocky Mountains from there?
I cannot see the Rocky
You're
Mountains.
only an inch away on the map, man.
I guess I'm blind, I guess.
Well, get some glasses.
Now, I have a question. So you've explained that obviously the shorter of the distance in an experiment, the more of a margin of error there is.
Oh, on the triangle, yeah.
Okay, so, or when they're doing like these laser tests, does it happen the same way where they do these laser tests?
I don't even bother looking at them.
Well, I can tell you right now, FEer did a laser test, and they finally put results up on the internet. I just glanced through them, and just glancing through them.
What laser test was that?
Forget the name of it, but I can actually.
That wasn't D Marble and all those yahoos, or was it?
No. This was
Dr. John.
This was a test they did. Actually, the only way I know how to get there is through her. The test they did that I know about was probably about a year and a half ago, when they first, like their very first test they did. Let me see.
Where was it?
That's what I'm trying to get to it right now. It was in her last. Okay, how sunsets work. I'm not sharing. Okay, cool. I don't want to share her page.
Hey, Sean.
Where did I see it at? I'm trying to find the. All right, I'll just type it in. Fuck it. All right, so laser experiment they did was at.
Like Balaton in Romania, was that the one you're talking about?
Yes. Yeah, it just popped onto it.
All right. Kudar, thanks.
Yeah, it's.
Yeah, how far was that?
They did they had a few different ranges. It looks
What's
like
the max?
23 kilometers.
I wouldn't even look at it.
Yeah, it's too
I don't
small.
look at things less than 40 kilometers.
So there's
too much variation with diffraction and all sorts of things. And, I'm not going to argue with somebody over, well, I can see 14 feet of this and I should only be able to see 8. Well, okay, great.
Yeah, because just everything about the way they
show me Navy Pier from Michigan, and then we'll talk.
Yeah, just the way they word it, the way they literally just throw numbers in there and put numbers.
You're gonna like my video tomorrow.
Is that going to be out first thing or late in the afternoon?
It's out at 7:00 Eastern every morning.
Okay, perfect.
But it's a new guy. You remember? I don't know if you saw the measurement on the equinox I did, where I calculated the size of the Earth.
Yes, I saw that one.
All right. There's an interesting thing on that it really speaks directly to one of your earlier questions. Now, Harry, the engineer down in Tennessee that was doing it with me,
mm-hmm.
He had one dowel that was 73 inches high. And I had a framer square that was 7 inches high. Okay? Do you know what our measurement error was for both of those in measuring the shadow?
Within 3...
It was a 1/4 of an inch for both. All right? That was the measurement error based on what was predicted versus how we measured it. Now, we were a 1/4 of an inch off. Now, his dowel was an awful lot larger than mine, and as a result, he got within a 1/4 of a mile of the formal radius of the Earth. But my error was also a 1/4 of an inch, and that made me 110 miles off from the radius of the Earth.
Oh, damn.
But it was the exact same error.
Yeah.
You see, the magnitude of the error was the same. The results was magnified on the shorter course,
mm-hmm.
just as it would be magnified if you did this over 100 miles total trip.
I see. Okay, so now, now I get the error and how that
Hey,
works.
Rick.
What's up, Rick? You're lucky we can't post pictures in here. It's that's the thing that
not Bob FFS. Okay.
That's what.
No idea what that means, but
for fuck's sakes.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
But
I got to remember that.
Yeah,
that's one of my favorite expressions.
It took me forever to figure out all these acronyms and shit. I hate them.
Yeah.
Again, like this is what confuses me the most. I myself, I understand what you've discussed today, and I'm caveman. I literally, I'm trying. I have everything written down. When this is over, I'm gonna go back through it, make it neat, make things that little quotes or different little numbers are put where they're supposed to be put, and then I'll go through it again till I understand how got to these, how we got to these numbers. And
it wasn't brain surgery either, was it?
Not at all. But again, I put this challenge to anyone. Fuck this shit. I'll give, and it ain't much, and it's gonna sound ridiculous, but I'll give $5 to anyone who has everything we've talked about written down and can show where we went wrong. $5.
Oh,
it ain't much.
God, doggone it! I thought I had $5 there for a minute.
But that's what it's amounted to. It's like, what do I have to do to get any flat earther to sit down and actually go through what they believe?
Well, this is the problem that you run into is you get flat earthers. I went on Oakley's show on April Fool's Day. And I basically did the same thing to him there. And I said, I'm going to prove the full Earth. You know, I loosened him up a little bit by talking about camera f-stops and lens lengths and things like that. You know, gave them the impression I didn't know what I was talking about with some of the stuff, or really wasn't all that familiar with it. And they went right down the path. And, you know, the big story is right now that, you know, Nathan came out and said, well, do you know what the Raleigh criteria is? Like, yeah. Says, does it make things disappear? Yeah. Is it in the curve calculator? Any curve calculator you've ever seen? No. Then he just started calling me names and, see, they don't even include it in the curve calculator. Rory owes me 5,000 pounds.
Wait a minute.
You know, blah, blah. And they've got all these videos out there that I just disproved the globe. He has no idea what I just did to him.
The two don't.
No, but the thing about it is he doesn't realize that what he just opened himself up for by sticking his entire thing on the Raleigh criteria.
Because the Raleigh
as
criteria,
the reason things disappear. Now, do you see what I did to him?
Yeah, you had him openly admit why it's not flat Earth.
Always give them the opportunity to hang themselves. Never try and close the deal.
Okay, so I see.
You know, never try and close the deal until they make a statement that puts the noose around their own neck. And then just give them a little gentle shove. Fletcher, how long did it take me to start calling him, or have him call my names? I would say 5 minutes, but I was being overly nice. I really was being overly nice to him today. You know, when I was talking to him, I was trying to go away not to trigger him, unlike I did the first time, where I went in to just mess with him.
Have you ever debated Riley?
Riley?
Yeah.
No.
Would you?
I've been analyzing his debate with Flight the Flat Earth, though.
Okay.
And he's you know, the problem is that Riley is much smarter than Oakley is. And that may surprise you a little bit. But if you look at their debate styles, Nathan's debate is the Jerry Springer style, where you jump on them and start screaming and yelling and talk over them and everything. Riley is a chess player.
Yes, he is.
Where he sits down and he sets everything up 3 moves in advance. And if you don't realize what he's doing, you know, I'll give you a good example of the one that came out today. We were talking about, or he and Fight the Flat Earth were talking about density columns. And he goes, well, buoyancy and density is what causes things to go to the ground. So let's call these layers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. You know, we can give them a number. We can give them a unit. We can call them unicorns. You know, it just doesn't matter. We'll just name them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 with any units. Okay, why did he do that?
To set you up.
No, I wasn't involved.
Or for the setup.
Yeah, it was for the setup, but what was he setting up? He was setting up the concept that these units, you know, we can call them unicorns because the units themselves are arbitrary. And they're just arbitrarily put in without any meaning, and we can sit down and discard them for the same reason. They have no meaning. So we'll just discard them. You see how that is?
Yeah.
You see how he set that up for 3 questions down the road?
Yep.
Okay. I mean, he did a very nice job with it. I'm really quite impressed with Riley and his debate skills. I think his ability to understand concepts is extraordinarily limited. I think that his knowledge base is very limited, but he's very good at setting up arguments, especially if you play to one that he has a script for.
Yeah.
So that's the other key to it, is always get him off script.
Yes. And that's kind of where I like the fact that I know it. I know it's the
Mud
reaction.
fighting with a pig is worthless endeavor. You're fighting the pig's fight and they enjoy it more. Actually, I wasn't fighting that fight at all. I was analyzing it. I was the Howard Cosell of it. I was giving the color.
So maybe you don't want to let the cat out of the bag, but are you planning to?
What?
To have a debate with Riley at some point?
Now, the other thing that irritates me about Riley is I saw him dismiss somebody that asked a really good question because he was a gamer and he only had, a dozen subs on his channel. So I've let Riley know that I don't even want to bother talking with him until he has at least 3,000 subs. He's just not worth my attention.
Yeah,
and that just, I'm sure, irritated him.
Well, of course.
I don't give a crap how many subs somebody has. I don't even know how many I have, but
the reason I don't even ask is I will give it to Riley for one thing. He is the only flat earther that speaks of science in any realm.
Yeah, he's wrong on it most of the time.
Yeah.
But at least he tries to do it.
Yes.
You ever have any chemistry?
No. We'll say no.
Okay, we're going to say no. Oakley's got this new show that he's got, and he's got his usual band of idiots on it. And his little echo chamber there. Mm-hmm. And they were talking back and forth about how ridiculous gravity was the other day. And they were saying, look, these things are all just arbitrary. You know what a mole is? A mole is 12 kilograms of carbon. Okay. Why is it 12 kilograms of carbon? Well, that's just the weight. Okay. And and a mole is a unit of mass. Oh, really? Does a mole of ice weigh more than a mole of water? Is the volume of a mole of ice more than a mole of water, liquid water? Does 22.4 mean anything to you? How about 6.023 times 10 to the 23rd? That number, you ever got that number? They don't even know what a mole is. And that's fine. Not everybody does.
Yeah, but if
a mole, by the way, is a certain number of atoms, and
yes.
It's if you look at the atomic weight of carbon, it's 12. That's why 1 mole, which is 6.023 times 10 to the 23rd atoms of carbon, weighs 12 kilograms. That's how they came up with the atomic weight, or one of the ways they did.
I actually knew that. Once you explained it just now, I actually do know that.
So you take 2 moles of hydrogen and 1 mole of oxygen, you get 1 mole of water. And some heat.
The reason I know this is,
but they were mocking science with scientific terms that they clearly had no idea what they were talking about.
And I think they'd like to do that because one, they think they're discrediting science, but I think what they're going for is to appear to discredit science while appearing to understand it to other flat earthers, when in reality they can't fact check them. I'm not gonna lie, a lot of the times when Riley talks, a lot of people talk or even have these debates, it always leads a flat earther always leads it to a tangent of something that doesn't even matter when you're really looking at it. Like
mind of God, you have to mark the actual location of the horizon in order to do this.
And I noticed it right away when, like, I'll have these conversations right now with I've had conversations with we'll say Seek and Find, even though Seek and Find, this isn't actually pointed at you, but when I will explain gravity, or better yet, the effects that we see from gravity, and without going, is that right? Is that wrong? What's the middle ground? Seek will say no. To me, it doesn't make sense how that happens. If someone says A to B is so and so, if you haven't done it or understand how to get to that so and so, how do you know that it's not correct? So you can find, we've explained gravity. We've explained the effects that gravity plays on things. We've explained why there is no down, or you're not. I'm sorry. We explained why you're not upside down if you're in Australia. I mean, we've explained all these things. Now, again, I know you'll give me a reason why not to do this, but can you jot down 10 things about gravity that we've explained to you and how we explain it to you? Not fully how we explain it, but like, what are the effects of gravity that we observe, you know, on water? Why? Like, what have we told you about those things? I just want to know if you're taking in what we're saying at the very least, and it's literally just for that. I don't even care if you're right or wrong. I just don't want you to put a twist on something we said. I just want to know that you are there with us. It's not just in one ear out the other, because I honestly don't think you could, because if you did, your idea of a flat earth would be 100 different directions right now. That's exactly what happened to me.
Well, the problem that they run into is there are two ways that you can utterly destroy a flat earther. And it's kind of fun to do in a way. I prefer trying to educate things, but sometimes you just get irritated enough that you say, okay, it's time to go full retard on you. The first thing that I always like to do is say, okay, well, you don't believe in gravity. Refresh my memory on what the globers think gravity is. And how do they use that with trajectories and things like that? Can you explain that to me? And then you get the blank stares. Now, if you really, because they don't understand it in the first place, yet they're trying to debunk it. And then the next thing that you can do that's a lot of fun is kind of what I did at the very start of this one. No, I'm not here to defend the globe. By God, I think the Earth's flat. Horizon looks flat to me. Let's prove it flat. I'm going to give it to you. The Earth is not a globe. Let's find out what shape it is. And then all of a sudden, they can't use the Earth's not a globe, so therefore by default it's flat argument. You know? Mm-hmm. It's like creation science. Their main argument was that evolution didn't occur. Okay, great. Show me yours did. You know?
Yeah.
Go ahead. Seriously, let's throw mine out. Let's prove yours. I'm here. Let's do it.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, and it just drives them insane, because then they fall on their face, because their entire argument is based on saying the Earth is not a globe.
Well, that's exactly...
Name me one flat Earth argument that doesn't start off the Earth is not a globe because.
Exactly.
All right.
Exactly. And again, I'm going to say this till I'm blue in the face, and I hope and I've started to hear people say it, and it makes me happy every time I hear it. There aren't flat earthers. There's no flat earth evidence. You guys are globe deniers. And again, there's nothing wrong with being a globe denier, because that's what science is. It denies everyone else's science to prove its own.
In science, though, you must respect evidence.
That's
all right.
Yeah.
The evidence determines your conclusion. Your conclusion does not determine your evidence, and that is the disconnect that flat Earth has.
Yeah.
Hey, Fletcher, you say, well, Don? Don who? Don Ho? Oh, Don. Okay. Thank you, man. But yeah, I mean, I don't mind having people that have different opinions. You know, I'm a progressive Democrat. I got friends of mine that are Trump Republicans.
Poor guys.
Yeah, I know.
Just so everyone knows, Trump has small hands.
Yeah, tiny, tiny little baby hands.
Yeah, it's weird.
But I actually had to have a special keyboard on his little smartphone so that when he texts his, he could reach both ends with his thumbs. But but the thing is, I don't dislike people because they have different opinions. The thing that makes me dislike people, in all honesty, is stupidity. I really have a lot of difficulty dealing with people that simply cannot make the connections. And like dealing with Mind of God today, who's a bright man. He and I went to the same school. All right. He's a bright guy, and he cannot understand the concept that, well, on a flat Earth, a triangle has 180 degrees of internal angles. Well, on Earth, it has more than 180 degrees on big triangles. And his only response was, well, if it's on a sphere, it's not a triangle. And, there's curves in the triangle. And, you can't compare a sphere to a flat 2D surface. And, we're all going, yeah, that's the exact point that we're making. It's not a flat surface. And he just, well, you're talking about a triangle on a sphere, and you can't do that to a triangle on a flat surface. It on a flat surface, it's 180 degrees, but it's not 180 degrees on a sphere. On the Earth, it's not 180 degrees.
Yeah. Okay,
but that doesn't show that the Earth, isn't flat, or does it? And this is a guy that is a professional that works with numbers. See, he can't comprehend that A to B, therefore C.
Well, see, that's the thing that worries me. And kind of the reason that, like, again, this is mainly the reason that I'm here. Again, a lot of people that leave Flat Earth either disappear or they're definitely not as vocal as myself or someone like Jose. I know for a fact, one of the biggest issues that I found and I realized maybe a few weeks before I realized we didn't live on flat Earth was that there are literally people out there playing dumb, feeding bullshit, or feeding their egos to manipulate, I guess narcissists.
Well, they're pose. I honestly think that Mind of God is a Poe. I think I think Orphan Red is a Poe.
Here's the thing. I don't like the term Poe. I wouldn't put Mind of God. See, that's the thing. I don't know, so I wouldn't say this he is, period. I have questions about him I have questions about him mainly because of his idea of how God would work on a flat Earth versus a globe. Just that alone throws red flags and makes me nervous.
Yeah. Well, you've got that, and then you've got people like Owen Benjamin even Red Pill Philosophy. Honestly, I think Red Pill actually is a bright guy.
I believe he's another one who knows it's not flat.
I
put him in different criterias. For instance,
the Owen Benjamins and the Mind of Gods and the Red Pill Philosopher or Philosophy or whatever it is, Orphan Red, those are all in one little category that, in all honesty, they're more entertainment than anything.
But see, I don't put Mind of God in that. Mind of God, again, this isn't like a personal jab, but I don't think he's big enough. I don't think he's not. So
well, they all start off small.
Well, that's the thing though, because
who wants to be the next Red Pill?
That criteria. Oh, well, Red Pill definitely. I put Red Pill same one as Nathan, Bro Sanchez, and what it is they can't vary away from the narrative they have, or they will not be able to make money.
Exactly.
The second they say,
I'm actually starting a series here pretty soon, and that's going to be basically Eric Dubay, zealot or con man. And I'm just going to go over 34 of his statements, 4 to 6 per episode. And I'm just, because he established using zetetic astronomy, he established every argument currently in use in the flat earth. They're just recycles of his arguments. The only thing that I have seen new and different is the misuse of scientific method and the second law of thermodynamics.
Yeah, that one frustrates me because I'm a self-taught. Anything I talk about right now is most likely self-taught because of the last 2 years, and I have a very basic understanding of the laws of thermodynamics, and it is very clear to me it has nothing to do with a dome, not even a little bit. Like,
nope.
If it let's pretend, let's prove the dome. Let's prove we're in a closed system. Problem is that you don't know if it's a closed system because you don't believe anything's on the outside.
Well, if it was a closed system, certain things would happen.
Oh,
what would happen if you heated something up?
It would basically.
What would happen to the pressure? If the volume was held stable.
Well, it would equal out no matter what, wouldn't it?
No. If you heat something up,
it would cool down. Yeah.
The pressure would increase.
Okay, now I hear what you're saying. Yes, you're right. Expands. Yes.
All right. If the volume was fixed and you heated something up, the pressure would by necessity increase. Yet that doesn't happen, does it?
All right, 1 second.
Now the other thing is that they say that.
Bob, 1 second. Okay, so I got Bro Sanchez in my chat. He would like to come on the panel and have a discussion. First of all, I made those comments, Bro Sanchez, not Bob. I personally would have no problem having a conversation with you. I don't want it to be both of us because I don't want you to have an opportunity to say anyone's ganging up. I actually would like to do it one-on-one myself. Bob, if that's okay, no problem staying on the panel. But
well, you know what I'll do? How about this? Why don't you and Bro do it? I've got stuff to do.
All right.
Let me just kind of sit in the background.
All right.
And I'll be the guy that says, "Okay, wait. Go back to your corners. We need to stay on topic here. Bro, it's your turn."
I'd rather it just be me and him. And this is more of it's how do I explain it? I don't want anything to play a factor in it, and it always will.
All right, then I'm going to unplug the mic. I'm going to listen, and I'm going to do my stuff out here then.
Okay, no problem. I appreciate it.
All right. I'm going mute right now. Hey, it's been great talking with you.
I appreciate it. I appreciate everything today. You should have time if you got to take off. No worries. But I'm gonna.
No, I'm at my office right now.
Okay.
Today's my day off. I'm doing Gemini 8 today. The first docking in space. I have a series on Project Gemini.
Yeah. You said that's going to be out tomorrow morning, right?
No. Project Gemini, I've already gone through the first 5, Gemini 1 through 5. 6A and 7 are next Tuesday, and I'm going to do Gemini 8 next Thursday. I do the things in advance a little bit. And then I do other things in between.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
All right. Well, I'm going mute.
All right. Thank you, sir. Yeah, Bro Sanchez, you can just hit the link. No worries. And if anyone comes in, I'll mute them. No worries. I do want to keep it one-on-one. There's no reason for it. We don't fucking need a moderator. We both fucking have sense. All right. Yeah. So the link's out there. Bro Sanchez, no problem jumping. I only have your the Bro Sanchez email, so that's why I put it in the chat, and then go from there. Let me see. I know where he's back now. I don't even know how to pronounce your name. No, he stops by all the time, and I want to have him on so he can help out a little bit again too. No. If he says he'll come in, yeah, man, I never. Yeah, he's not gonna. I was just someone in the chat said they weren't sure if you were gonna come on, and there's no doubt I knew you were gonna come on. You don't jump in people's chat and say you'll jump on if you wouldn't. I know you. How you doing, sir?
You know, I'm doing pretty good, and I'm just want to say that, man, your people in your chat room are fucking relentless, B. But what's good to you and Bob, man? I'm here to talk about anything you guys want to talk about. Ask me anything. No holds barred. If you want to turn up, turn up. Hey, I ain't gonna turn up, but hey, you know.
Well, I kind of wanted just me and you'd have a conversation. I really didn't need to be, 2-on-1 or anything like that. And like I said, I know damn well you can control yourself, and I'm going to control myself. So I didn't think we needed kind of a moderator or anything either. So.
Okay. Yeah. Well, yeah, man, that sounds good to me, man. You pretty good about being respectful, contrary to popular belief, because a lot of people in your chat room said it's not possible to have a respectful conversation with me. What you think about that, man?
With you?
Yeah.
I've had many. I think when you have your panel full, it's a little difficult, but you don't get into it with people like that. It's usually, someone on your panel that will, but I don't even remember the last time I've seen you, get triggered. I don't think shit. Yeah, you don't get triggered very often, so I don't think. Yeah. I think a conversation with you is more than possible. I've had them with you, so.
Yeah, it's been a while, man. I was just tuned in to your show. I come through it and I check you out. I just want to see where you at. I know you went from flat to globe, and then you went back to flat, and I know that.
No. Okay. I'm still globe. Yesterday I did that. It was my title just because it was April Fool's, but no, I'm globe, man. I definitely have I have enough of an understanding about it that I just didn't see a flat Earth. There's too many things that line up that work, that we can observe ourselves, that show us it's flat. Or not, sorry, shows us it's a globe.
Yeah, no, you're right. It shows us it's flat. You're right. You're right. My bad. But listen, before we get into flat versus globe, let me ask you something, brother.
What's up?
Do you think that there's any type of selfish agenda that Bro Sanchez may have with my approach to flat Earth, and that there may be some kind of underlying reason for me to keep promoting sort of a foolish theory that I know in my heart truly is not real, but I need the money, so I'm gonna keep promoting it, misleading people? Do you think it's something like that with me, brother?
To be honest, yes. You don't have a very flat Earth stream. Now, when I say that, I mean you're not Eric Dubay, or you're not you name them. You talk a lot about the etymology of flat Earth. So I don't put you in the same criteria as someone else, a lot of the other flat earthers. But I do feel that you carry a narrative that wouldn't change based on your audience that's there. And what depicts that to me more is your panel. It's because what happens is you'll have them on your panel. They'll start discussing certain topics, and It's exactly what your narrative is. Not saying that's you're making them. I'm just saying that's what they're doing.
So from that, you conclude that I'm this charlatan and I'm not really believing what I'm teaching, or I'm just scamming. You conclude based upon my panelists being like-minded.
I think that's a fact. I think it's a factor of it.
So you don't think that your vibe attract your tribe, because most of your panelists like-minded too?
Say again. Say it one more time.
You don't think that your vibe attracts your tribe because most of your panel are like-minded as well? Well,
I don't, because I don't carry myself like that. I definitely don't make anything off of it. It's I don't think like Dr. Bob does. I don't think like anybody on my panel does.
I don't think like none of the guys on my panel. We argue all the time. Matter of fact, last couple of hangouts, I've been clashing with a lot of the guys on the panels, and they'll tell you that we clash off. Matter of fact, oh yeah.
I apologize if I meant everything they say. There's just certain things that they don't like. For instance, I feel that I was a flat earther because I didn't understand the concept of the globe. I feel that a lot of the people on your panel don't understand either, but because you've said it, they think they know. I say this because when they're on your panel, they sound very sure about how they feel about flat Earth. They have their evidences, their beliefs upon it, and actually I think probably about 5 of them come over to my stream and come on the panel. Within 5 minutes, they're saying completely different things. And to me, that feels like they're running a narrative on your panel. Now, when I say that for yourself, I honestly believe, and it's with other flat earthers as well, if you were to say, this doesn't work on a flat earth, or that does work for a globe, you would have to worry about your fan base. You would worry about whether it's your full income or not. You would be worried about what that would result in.
Now listen, this is what you're missing. I had an income on YouTube before I was a flat earther, Shun G.
No, I know, sir. I know. I 100% know. I know. See, that's the thing. I'm not saying you're in it for the full scam of it at all. Because again, like I said, when I've been, for the past 2.5 years that I've listened to you, you haven't been a flat earth proofs. You do have your different uploads and stuff, but you're an etymology guy.
Let me ask you something. Let
me finish.
Okay, go ahead.
And to me, I depicted you I see you as like the etymology guy. You want to talk about the past, and I have no clue about it, so I'm not trying to debunk any of that because I have no clue where to even start. But at the same time, the flat earth kind of fits its way into what you're actually explaining to people. And it's, to me, doesn't seem like you're not putting out flat earth proofs or evidence. It's just narratives, whether it be something you saw or heard or a video you saw, but it's not a flat earth evidence. It hasn't been shown by a flat earth.
Okay. Now I'm gonna go ahead and respond to that and give a shout out to Turk Life. And let me show you why I don't think you're really, excuse me. I don't think you're really in a position to say what you're saying. I don't think you've been around a community long enough to know who the hell I am, Sean. And I say that because of the foolishness that just came out of your mouth. And I'm gonna show you what I mean by that. Now, I'm gonna take you on a tour on who I am, so that you don't make the mistake of saying stuff like what you said. A lot of people don't really know what I do, especially if you're a YouTuber, but I don't fault you, you just started following me for real. You know what I mean? So let me just show you a little something. And what I would do is screen share with you here. Let's do this. We'll share that. Can you see the screen?
Yes, sir.
And let me take you on a little tour. And hold on, I got a lot of traffic going on. Hold on a second.
Yeah, no
Give me
worries.
1 minute.
Yeah, no worries, no worries.
Cool. My little ankle biters, man, they going off.
No worries, no worries.
All right, back to what I was saying though. You said I just do syncretism, basically etymology, and I don't really do the whole mechanical side of flat Earth, and just I know what you mean. You say I don't do the Jeranism thing.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna just show you that that's real foolish to say. And I mean, if you follow my stuff, you will see that it is foolish to say. And I'm gonna show you that right now. I'm pulling a whole bunch of videos right now that show that what you just said is not true, my brother. That's all I'm doing. I ain't gonna argue with you. I'm just gonna show and prove. All right. Hold on a second, because I got a lot of videos. I'm just gonna go through it a little. I ain't gonna even get them all, just a few, because I've been on here for a while.
Oh, I know you have. I didn't mean you're new. I know.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm just showing you. Did you watch the debate between me and Young Pharaoh, by the way? I don't know if you followed it.
I did. And that's
right.
And that's kind of part of why I feel the way I do. I feel so what happened, I know, you may not know, but I mean, I've been in the back chats. I've been around. I know what's going on. So, I mean, I'm not so naive to it as you believe I am, but
just ask the question.
What ended up happening was, out of nowhere, no, I wouldn't even say out of nowhere, but very quickly out of nowhere, in my opinion, you guys and I think a few others, started debating against the conscious community. I'm sorry. If you were going to be debating anybody for, it's flat, I would think you would go against the hundreds we have in this community that beg for debates on a regular basis.
I don't understand what you just said.
I just feel like basically you went over and started debating with the conscious community for a reason. I don't think it was to prove flat or globe.
Really?
I honestly believe it was to bring the conscious community into the flat Earth.
Oh, would that be a good thing or bad thing?
It's bad. It's not flat.
Oh, okay. Okay. But it would have been a good thing when you was a flat earther, though, right?
No, it wouldn't, because I can go to my page right now and show you pretty much exactly when it happened and how I felt about it. Because listen to me, brother. Let me just go ahead and say what I got to say and make a long story short. Regardless of what you think, I'm giving you an opportunity to give the people some solid stances for what you think, and I'm gonna let you know right now, you ain't really doing a good job. You said that I don't make content that's centered around the science of flat Earth. Do you see all these tabs? Do you see all these videos? Here's one right here. Goes right into the science and to the, let me mute this. This goes into how the stars work on flat Earth, the AE map, how everything work on that, the ancient conceptions, and even how NASA, a little bit history of NASA. It goes into so much in this 1 hour video. Circumnavigation on this section, gravity on this section, you name it, man. Compass. We debunk Isaac Newton. I mean, I don't know where you've been, brother, but I've been putting in work
before I can get to the symbolism and syncretism, I had to prove it was flat. It's very simple, dude. You can't do, hold on, I'm not done. You can't do the symbolism, sacred geometry and all that. You'll look like a fool if the people think it's a globe and you up there trying to decode some flat earth symbols. You'll look stupid. So the people have to know first that it's flat. How did they know that it was flat? Well, I'm showing you the videos because the people been following me. This is in 2016 right here. This 3 years ago. Well, I was talking about the ether 3 years ago. Nikola Tesla technology. And this Tesla technology can't work on a damn globe, dude. That's what we proved in this video. Over 1,500 people know what I was telling them in this video with no bullshit. Some of them got degrees. So we talking about science here, not symbolism. GPS, satellites, Loran explained, science. We get into radio technology, all of that. We compare sacred geometry. This is mathematics we using here, comparing the flat Milky Way to the flat Earth. Why the hell is the Milky Way flat? We talk, that's called critical thinking. In this one, we doing comparison where we go around the web and we go to about 10 different NASA live streams that's playing at the same day. And they all got different pictures of Earth, different size, curvature, and all that. So, you know, talking about observations, science that people can do by themselves. And this one, this is a 40-minute video just about the sun, debunking the globe with the sun. In this one, we explain gravity for a whole hour using the gravitron. In this one, I go through so much flat earth science that it'll make you have to goddamn just, I mean, you'll get blue in the face. When I gave Sadie that work. I don't know if you saw that one, but this is just a few, man. This was me with Lord Jamar, Rod Digger. They don't really deal with symbolism and sacred geometry. They wanted to know about the science. So I had to come with it on that one, you know. Seeing the sun and the moon and sky together ain't nothing about symbolism dealing with that. No sacred geometry, no etymology. On that, just basic scientific observations. How Nightingale became the solar system, history, a history class. You can go and research and verify the shit that I'm teaching in that. It's history. We just wasn't given it in school. And this one right here, well, yeah, we just talking about some black consciousness. I'll give you that one. But this is just me on page 1. I got a whole series called a Planisphere series before I even knew how to pronounce the word syncretism, dealing with number science. So I'm just showing you, brother, I admire your passion, but I really think, Sean G, you really need to get to know me before you start talking, saying certain things about me, because some people who knew me way longer than you don't even say the stuff that you say. You know what I mean? You just start, and matter of fact, you don't know me. You just, you know, through this YouTube shit or whatever. But go ahead, brother. I'm gonna stop right there and let you get the flow.
Okay. Well, first in the videos that you were showing, you didn't have that many. Your subs weren't where they are at now. So I didn't have that same feeling when I first came around. But if I can go through if I can go through each one of your videos and show you how you're wrong, or show you how, for instance, gravity is really real. Chris, do me a favor, keep your mic muted for me, please. I would be able to show you these things, and the main one that actually I actually was trying to have a discussion with you about when I was a flat earther was your Crater's Quarry live streams that you had done.
Can you stop my screen share?
I apologize. No. I was presenting you. I'm sorry. My bad. When you were sharing your screen. But you at one point in time you said you didn't say you said this. You said you thought maybe, but I mean, there's been probably about 3 or 4 times where you made the claim that craters from meteorites were actually ancient quarries. And I actually work in the construction. I worked in mining, in the mining industry, and I can tell you right off the bat, they're 2 different things, and you're completely wrong. Now, when that happens, and you're not even willing to budge on the fact that you are wrong, I can absolutely prove. I mean, I have a whole file that I've been trying to talk to you about for about 1.5 years now. First off, I can just understand that the structure of a crater site and the structure of a mining site aren't anything of the same. That's just right off the bat.
Prove it.
I'm pulling them up right now. I'm going to show you right now exactly how I know.
So you said a mining site, right?
Yep.
Okay, I didn't say that craters were old mining sites, by the way. I said that they could be old, ancient rock quarries.
A quarry and a mine, same thing. Same structure, same way. They do it the same way.
Not necessarily, because I stay right near a rock quarry here.
Yep.
I can tell you right now, it looks like a damn crater.
Well, I can show you exactly how it's not.
And see, this is one of those debates right here where it's simply up to, like, this is one of those things where, hey, do the Magnum look like the Rolls Royce? Do the PT Cruiser looks like the Benz? Like, yeah, it totally does. Nah, man, the Impala surely doesn't look like the doggone Caprice. You could do that for days, but you can't tell me what some look like to me. And people will get up there and be arguing perspective, but I'm not a fool, so I'm not going to do that with you. I made a video. Basically, the foundation of the video is a rock quarry. The foundation isn't not necessarily is the rock quarry. Is it a meteor site versus an ancient rock quarry? You know, the shape of it isn't what I was really driving in. The shape of it being a perfect dome, a perfect sphere, this perfect little, you know, if you look at what they call meteor sites, they're perfect spheres, you know, in the ground. Only man make perfect impressions like that. Any rock in nature that will make that kind of impression will have to be like a bowling ball or something. And they show us these meteors in irregular shapes. Why would all of the impacts be perfectly pimpled? And the crazy, it looks man-made. It looks like it was quarried out, is what I was saying, because I look at a lot, I was comparing a lot of quarries in the video. People was agreeing with me. It was all about perspective. It's not really a matter of debate. Like I said, if you want to say, hey, Polo looks better than Tommy. No, Tommy looks better than Polo. If you want to debate the science of it, the foundation of the video was, are meteors real? Have we ever observed a foreign body causing a major genocide or extinction, like they explain with the meteors and all of these things of that nature? And the answer would be no. So it's another one of those things that's up for belief. And so what I was presenting was the fact that if you look at a lot of ancient quarry sites, they resemble what they call meteor strikes. And if you watch the video in its entirety, if you're out there, if you haven't watched it, you'll see that it's a very reasonable video, and I'm not making any big claims in it. I'm making you think. That's all I'm doing.
Well, you made the claim at least twice now. Not right now. Or that quarries are ancient, or meteor sites are ancient quarries. The
thing that I need you to do for me is keep in mind that in the video it said I also kept the door open. one thing about me, I like to say things like could be.
No.
I like to leave it up. I like to say, so in a lot of my streams, people did ask me about that. Jabari asked me about that.
It wasn't.
He said, hey, you think that meters? I said, hey, man, I just raised the idea. In that video, I said, hey, they could be, you know, rock cores or whatever. So if you don't know, now you know right now, because I'm telling you now, you ain't got to deal with the past because I'm here right now. Okay, I'm not sure. Hold on, let me say this. You can get to my back. I'm not sure if what they're calling meteor impacts are ancient rock quarries, or they can be something else. I proposed the initial idea of rock quarries, but I know they ain't from what the scientists say. But it can be something else. It can be a number of things. I'm not always right, bro, and I'm cool with saying that. So that was one of my beliefs. I do believe they could be ancient rock quarries, but it's not one of my facts, though. If you want to debate my beliefs, we can do that.
No. Okay. Well, since you've clarified it, then maybe I can show you exactly where you're wrong in your beliefs.
Cool.
Okay.
I'm down to do that.
Okay. So this is a meteor strike or meteor site. Obviously, you can see the edges of it all go to a point. I know you got a problem with the impact of it, but there are different impacts. I mean, they don't always hit at straight down. You know, they do skid across. Go to the next one.
Yeah, how do you know that a meteor did that? Because they told you? Were you there to see it? Did you observe it?
No, actually, meteors actually have the signature that no quarry, bottom of a quarry will ever have. There's something called nuclear blast. It's called nuclear blast. It's actually.
You know what? I covered that in the video, and I'm just cutting it in. Is actually in a lot of these different sites is not one element. In a lot of them is high concentrations of nickel and things of that nature as well. Also, the rocks that they say. Okay, go ahead.
I was actually going to let you know that, you know, a lot of the different elements that they find inside these things, they know it's from meteors because of the amounts that they're finding that are with the other elements that we don't find here. Another obvious signature of
how don't we find them here when we find them here? Hold on, wait a minute. I'm trying to grasp this.
We find pockets of nickel, iron, all these elements.
But do we find them in space, or do we find them here?
We can find them in the ground, but we also find
them. Listen, how can we say something we found in the ground come from space because it's inside of a dent?
No,
we didn't. Do we have something from space to compare?
Can I explain?
You're not what we find in the dent.
You're cutting me off when I'm trying to explain these things. So again, when a meteor strike happens, they're not finding the same amount of nickel and iron as they're finding in the pockets that they mine on a regular basis. They're finding a certain amount. Now, the amounts of iron and nickel together that they find isn't normal in a pocket of iron or a pocket of nickel.
Who decides what's normal?
The geologists that have done years and years of studying that I trust because I excavate dirt. I've done blasting sites. So every time they're right.
That's why I don't like to argue beliefs, because
it's not about a belief. This is my profession. I actually do these things for a living.
I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about me.
Okay.
Screw your profession is my belief, and you said that with me. You agreed. I said, if you want to argue with me my beliefs, then fine. If you don't want to argue my facts, and you agreed to continue an argument about my beliefs. And the reason I don't like to argue, hold on.
I can actually give you the facts about your beliefs.
I know that, but I'm telling you why right now that it still won't change my beliefs. Because here's what
the problem.
Hold on, brother. What you call facts is what my grandma called facts. When she found money, she would say, old lady found money, they would say, you know, Jesus blessed them. That's a fact. Something bad happened, the devil did it. That's a fact. So as facts to you may be defined different than me. I'm trying to get clarity here. Slow down and walk with me, right?
My fact, so you understand. Okay. I want you to understand.
Can you let me actually finish what I'm saying real quick, brother?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, here's why I don't like to debate my beliefs. You just said one word that ended the whole discussion. You trust somebody that I don't trust.
You actually
now you won't let me.
Yeah, because I was explaining that to you, and you cut me off.
I can just motherfucking end it.
You cut me off when I was explaining that.
Bro, I'm trying to motherfucking ask you something. Man, shut the fuck up. You are in my beliefs here.
Dude, why are you getting upset?
I'm trying to get clarity, dude.
I understand
because
that.
You're making it difficult.
But you cut me off to talk.
Brother.
You cut me off to talk.
If you don't want to have a discussion, then I can end the show and I can talk to my people by myself and open up my own.
That's fine. I don't know why you're getting upset.
Because you cut me off while I'm trying to ask you some shit.
Do you understand that you cut me off twice now when I was explaining something?
I'm trying to get clarity. You're questioning my beliefs, not yours. If you want to give me facts and help me out, you need to walk with me, teacher. I'm in the student seat now. You're going to treat it so the student need to learn to shut the fuck up and listen to the student question if they want to teach them right. Because what you saying might not be the question I'm asking, and you talking to your damn self, because that ain't what the student need help with, talkative teacher. I teach good because I listen good. Now you confusing the damn student. I'm giving you my time because I'm trying to understand the shit. I admitted to having the beliefs. If you got the motherfucking facts, at least understand my beliefs before you come with your diagnosis, because a doctor can't cure the motherfucking patient if he don't listen. So what I'm telling you is this right here, brother. The reason I don't like to debate my belief is because the next portion of our argument would turn into you trying to convince me to trust the motherfuckers you trust. And guess what, Sean?
That's not how it works. That's not how it works.
Go ahead. Just take the flow, bro. Just go ahead.
Thank you. I was trying to explain to you that not only do I trust them because of my profession where I use them myself. So if I don't trust them to do their jobs, I lose a lot of money and people probably would die. So yes, I do trust those guys. I myself have 25 years experience excavating and mining and importing.
And what was the name of the company? What was the name of the company you work for?
Earth Bank Inc. You may want to check Camp Pendleton's records. We had the longest civilian contract on there. I am qualified.
Keep going.
Now, can I get back to what I was obviously explaining to you? Now, luckily I wrote down where I left off before. Anyway, in the bottom of a meteor site, the elements found in the quantity they're found together is the reason we know for sure that these older sites were meteor strikes. That's one way. Not all meteors are that size. So when you said earlier, has anyone ever seen a meteor that took everyone out? Probably not. But yeah, a lot of meteors have been spotted, videoed, but you'll say they're fake, but they're not, because multiple people that had no idea that the other people existed have the same videos. Now, I'll continue on. Now, this is just one exhibit of or example of a rock quarry. Again, this is nothing like a meteor. Now, I heard a lot of people, not just yourself, but a lot of other people talking about these machines and all this technology fucking 1,000 years ago. No. Okay. First of all, none of the meteor sites have a dig pattern. Now, they may not look all like that one, but there is a dig pattern to every quarry. Even the ancient people understood that, and that's why their quarries are the way we do ours now.
Okay, now it's my turn, right?
Okay.
Cool. Now it's my turn. Cool. Let me show you something real quick that's gonna blow all that crap out the water, boy. You forgot who you was showing up dealing with. Let me show you something. All right, simple paint application. Let's just say, all right, let's do it this way. I'm gonna show you something real quick. Since I have no other way of demonstrating this to you, let's do it this way. Now here's the horizon line. We on the ground. Now all of the meteors that you talking about are nothing but luminaries in the sky. They never impact Earth. They travel in this direction. They streaking across the sky in these directions. You know what we never see, Sean? We never see meteors coming up from the horizon this way if we're on the ball, shooting up.
Most likely those
from the horizon.
We do.
I'm not done. See, I can't finish now. See, I can't finish now, can I? Like I said,
I know this.
Go ahead. Since you can't help yourself, go ahead.
Okay. I know this part of the argument. I've done it 1,000 times. You don't need to do it. I was just stating the fact that you probably do, and it's called shooting stars.
We never see it, so you can chill with your probably, and we would have captured it on camera right now. Everybody got a fucking iPhone.
You've never seen a shooting star?
Everything. I see them all the time, but I never see them come up from the horizon. Then you just see me do the example, man.
Wait, you wouldn't see it come up over the horizon.
Why wouldn't I see that? That is stupid. If I live on a globe, something called parallax, you would see shooting stars coming. They wouldn't be limited by direction.
Well, for one, you live in a valley, so you wouldn't see. And you're
no. I never saw them when I lived. No. I didn't always live in the valley.
Okay, well. Can you show me an observation of never seeing something?
Can you show me video footage of shooting stars coming up from the horizon right now? It'll be on YouTube, I'm sure.
Yeah,
you said
probably.
You said you can show footage of shooting stars. Hold on, wait a minute. You said you can show me footage of meteors right now. Can you show me footage of any of them coming up from the horizon? Like I said, hell no. Because I said, hold on, I'm fucking talking. Hell no,
really?
You can't be.
I thought this was a discussion.
Damn, I can never finish a complete sentence, bro, when I let you finish. If you continue to cut me off, man, I don't know if I continue this because all you're doing is acting like an agent right now. It is making my platform look very unprofessional.
Well, make sure your listeners look back on this and they listen to how quiet I was while you talked for a very long time. Okay.
You cut me the hell off because you couldn't help yourself, and now I just can't complete a damn sentence. So go ahead again, Sean. Just go talk, man. Talk. Go ahead. Go.
I like to talk about the facts, not this in-between stuff you're doing.
That's what I'm talking about, and I give this brother the flow, and he filibustered.
Okay, you want me to? Okay, you're gonna give me the floor.
We're gonna vote in a minute. I'm gonna ask the people: do they want me to boot your ass and have a bill with them, or do they want you to stay?
Bro, Sanchez, I just want to talk about facts. If you want to play this games, that's fine. But you can, if you want to leave, that's fine.
What I was saying. Can I finish saying what I'm saying? Because my people don't like pussyfoot arguments, man. Can I get back on track here?
I haven't had an argument because you cut me off when I'm talking.
I get back on track here. I'm sorry, then. God damn it! Can I just get back to the topic? Shit, this shit is getting a headache now. Now check this out, bro.
Okay.
Oh my God!
I said go ahead. What do you really? Like, you're bigger than this, man. You don't need to act like that. Seriously, I'm not acting disrespectful to you. You're literally cutting me off when I was talking earlier, and you're long-winded.
I'm sorry, man. How long? That's another thing that I know. Sean don't follow me. Everybody know if you live in America, country people are long-winded. Duh.
Yeah, but
why the fuck does he come on an Alabamian show saying it take you long to talk? Because I still can't talk.
Why are you cutting
And
me
I
off?
still can't talk.
You know you
And
can
I
go
still
back.
can't talk.
You can go back in my my
I
stream.
still can't.
You had a lot
When
of
is it
time to
ever
talk.
going to be my turn to finish? When can I ever go again, Sean? My bad. Go ahead. Your turn. Go.
Really? Like, you're bigger than this, dude. You don't have to play it up like this. I'm not being disrespectful at all to you. I mean, we can talk facts if you like.
Talk. You ask for the mic to not say nothing. Then as soon as I start talking, he gonna cut me off, y'all. Are you through? Can I go now, Sean?
Yep.
I'm long-winded, brother. I'm long-winded as fuck.
So am I.
Guess what? So listen, don't come and talk to Brother Sanchez and say, you know, you're long-winded. Everybody know that. People who don't like long-winded motherfuckers, they don't even come to my show because they know I'm country as hell and I talk slow. So you cutting me off because of that ain't fair, bro.
That's not why.
I don't.
You're. It's not even right what you're saying. Because what I'm trying to tell you is that I'm long-winded as well, and you cut me off in the very beginning of all this and have continued to while I was constantly trying to explain it.
I'm sorry. Now, can we get back on track, then?
I wish we would. Thank you.
All right, cool. So let's talk about these quarries, brother.
Okay.
Now, here's the thing. No matter what you say, I didn't see a big rock from outer space crash into that hole and leave those minerals deposited in the ground there with my eyes. So I can't do the first steps of the scientific method, which is observation. At that point, it's up to what you said, trust, belief, that they know what the fuck they talk about with all their research, which is, you see what I'm saying? Like, no matter, I'm not done, no, I swear I'm not long-winded yet either. I just started talking. All right, so just to finish what I'm saying is that no matter what you say, you already said the key words. Your evidence is based upon trust, not facts, and that is a fact of the matter, brother.
No, it's not.
I can't finish. But like I was saying, I'm gonna go and say this and wrap it up because I'm gonna just let this brother get the mic. The reason is not based upon facts because we can't prove beyond a reasonable doubt that a big ass rock from space caused that hole in the ground just because a nigga went down there in the ground, said, nickel is in here. This element is there because guess what? Humans dig in the ground all the time and they leave crater-sized holes that shape just like craters. And we find nickel and everything in them because man have been quarrying the ground for so long. Isn't it ironic that the places where we find these meteor impacts, what I show in my video, if you was paying attention, that these are places that have always had high nickel concentrations. So man had devices to detect the ground and quarry the dirt. That can be a theory. I presented my video as a theory because guess what? It does make a lot of sense. Since we can't observe the rock falling into earth, it makes more sense that we was just quarrying those minerals out of the ground and put the dent in the ground. We can see that with our eyes every day. I can observe man doing this, putting craters in the ground because he's getting elements from the earth. I never saw it happen by a big rock crashing. So I just brought that up, that mine has observation and yours requires trust.
Can I go now? Yeah? Okay.
Oh, I was finished yesterday, my nigga. Oh, yeah.
Okay. Well, again, I'll go ahead and present my screen now. So, you told me to go on and find those meteor strikes. Each one of these does not look like a shooting star. There are numerous videos of this. You say they go in an upward direction. So are you telling me you've seen a meteorite do that?
I told you, and I drew it out in paint. I said you never see them come up from the horizon line. You only see them do. I'm trying to tell you what I said. You only see them do what you're showing right now. We all see them do that, but we never saw them do what I drew out in paint.
Because your paint didn't involve gravity.
No, you didn't go gravity. Y'all, hold on. Yo. He just went gravity for meteors not coming up from the horizon. Nigga, I'm done. I heard it all. That's it. You can't use gravity for everything, my nigga. God damn. Sean, explain why gravity. Oh my God. Explain why gravity would be a factor in us not seeing the meteors come up. Oh, this is fucking crazy. He said gravity, y'all, for this shit. Yo, y'all really use that shit for everything. Damn. My bad for acting like that, bro, but you just shocked the fuck out of me with gravity. I sure wasn't expecting gravity for why I can't see the fucking meteors, you know.
You done?
I love you, man. I fucking feel sorry for y'all, dude. Yeah, I'm done, man. You know what, bro? Take over and talk long as you want.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, because gravity pulls them into our atmosphere. I'm not sure if you realize it, but why would it come up over the horizon if it's going to be pulled in? If you are able to see them in your area, it wouldn't happen that way. Second, everything you're saying about how that around these meteor sites, all those elements are found, they're not. And I don't know that on trust, because to know the geologist does a good job, I have to know what he's doing. I don't know it because geologists and I trust them, because my facts aren't based in belief like yourself. Check. Am I back? Fuck. Alright guys, so I don't know what the fuck just happened. I got kicked out of the panel, but it wasn't Bro Sanchez. I don't know, it wasn't... Check. Am I back? But I did get kicked out of there. But it wasn't a snipe, because it said video connection and all that kind of crap. So I know it wasn't that. But I'm not done. I don't know how much you guys heard. What I was trying to say, I don't know, but I have a lot to say. I don't like the way he came here and disrespected me. I definitely carry myself in a debate, especially this debate, for the reason I did. That acting out thing doesn't make fucking much sense to me. But if, I'm going to tell you now, he's made claims, and I'm not really going to sit here and I don't really care. But I mean, right off the bat, he's already said stuff that verifies exactly what the fuck I say. He already made it very clear. He doesn't care if I give him, well, he didn't even get to hear the facts because he wouldn't let me talk. But more importantly, he already said he doesn't care about my facts. He's not going to change his belief. Does that make any sense? Is it just me? I don't know. I probably doubt he's going to. He's probably over there talking a lot of shit, like as if he got me and I ran away or some shit. I ain't got time for that. And I sure as hell don't give a fuck. If he wants to continue on, he'll come back over. I'll let him keep talking over me. I don't need to show anybody. It's there. I don't understand why he started acting like a child. Doesn't make sense to me. I came to talk facts. I don't give a shit about, oh, gravity. You're making claims with not even having observations and using that to say observations are just beliefs. The realization is your beliefs don't mean shit to facts. I could believe up and down the spectrum of whatever the fuck I want. But if things are verified with evidence, facts, your belief kind of has to change. So if you're not willing to change your beliefs, it kind of sounds like you don't go off a narrative. Bro Sanchez, I was nothing but respectful while you were on my panel. I'm not sure at what point you didn't realize that you cut me off when I was explaining the questions you were repeating over and over again. But yeah, you're long-winded. So am I. So imagine if you cut me off after 30 seconds every time I was talking. If you ask 4 or 5 questions, only one gets answered. I wanted to answer all of your questions. I wanted you to understand, because I don't know where I cut off at, that your beliefs don't mean shit to the facts that I know. They're not beliefs. They're not trust. You didn't let me finish, because if you had, you would understand that I know just as much as a geologist knows when it comes down to what's in the soil, because I have to. Because we have regulations here. I have to know the different materials and metals in the dirt. That's a little bit more than trusting a geologist. It's a little bit more than a belief. So when I tell you these things about a crater and a quarry, like I have for the past year and a half, through endless emails, I was trying to tell you I didn't get it off your video. I didn't watch your video because I knew your video wasn't correct. Just so you understand, I heard you make these claims twice in live streams. One was actually a few weeks ago. Why do I think you have a narrative? Because your beliefs won't change, even when facts and evidence against your non-observational evidence, you will not change your narrative. That is exactly what I meant. The fact that you have zero knowledge in what you're speaking on, yet I do, yet you feel the need to run the narrative of I'm trusting others to get my knowledge. Yet that's what exactly you're doing with everything you talk about etymology. You weren't there. You didn't see it. Bro Sanchez, if you really want to learn something, let me know. We'll do this again. But don't play the flat earth argument game with me. I've done it before. The reason I let you talk for so damn long in the beginning was so you wouldn't pull that shit. And I didn't. In fact, you were the one cutting me off. Rewind. Look at it again. Maybe your viewers should listen to my side. I don't know if you muted me a few times or not. But I'm not as blind as you think. You may not have noticed, but I'm here, and I've been here. I'm not stupid. I know about all the shit that goes on in the back chats and all that fucking funny other shit. I'm not a fucking average YouTube viewer who just decided to go live because it seemed fun. No, I'm here for truth, motherfucker. So if I hear someone pushing narrative, I'm gonna say something. But you've already answered that question. You already said, doesn't matter the facts. It's not going to change your belief. If you're going to say you didn't say it, rewind. You did. That's probably why you may believe it's flat. Because facts don't matter to you. Evidence does not matter. I hope your observations that are on all those uploads aren't based on your beliefs. Because you're teaching people your beliefs, not facts. I think facts are important. I'll go back and look at some of your uploads, especially the ones on gravity. I would like to hear how you debunked gravity and why you're still on YouTube and not a Nobel Prize winner. I'd love to see that video and see if you actually break down how it works. What irritates me the most is that over the 2.5 years, you think I just been blind. Bro Sanchez, I didn't listen to you very often. Only because I don't know etymology. It's not part of my interest. I got other shit I love to fucking research. But the thing is my research involves people in flat or globe today. My research and my information that I put out there affects our children, mine, yours, people that are listening. Your information is from thousands, if not millions of years ago. And it's a belief. Some of it you can't even back with anything. You ran a narrative of something and you left out the main part of the whole topic you talk about. You talk against religions. You talk against man and man fornication and all that kind of shit. And what do you call it? Incest and all that. I heard you. I'm pretty sure you'll admit to it. You've talked against all of those things. And you said that the etymology you're teaching talked against it. But you don't tell your viewers that it was a religion. It was actually one of the biggest religions before, Christianity, the other ones. You don't tell them that they were involved in incest. I've never heard you say these things. I heard you talk against them. Why don't you tell them the truth? Why don't you tell them about where Newton, Gale, and all those came from, where all this started from? They were doing the same thing you denounce on a regular basis. When someone who has experience of over 25 years at something of mining, exporting, and importing dirt, you think you're smarter than I am about it. You think you have it figured out. Your beliefs can't be changed by facts. You said it yourself. That's why I'm no longer a flat earther. Because facts are more important than my beliefs, and I wanted the fucking truth. And if you're not willing to actually learn yourself some truth, how the fuck are you teaching it to people? Remember? Student, teacher, teacher, student, teacher, all that shit. Maybe it's sometime you need to listen and not talk all the time. You have my email. I have yours. I'm going to email you. We'll do this again if you'd like to. I would. I mean, this time, I like to actually talk, get my facts out, because facts are more important than beliefs. Don't trust your beliefs over facts, bro Sanchez.
But my legs heavy, I don't get it. How come I haven't hit it already? Still working, I'm still learning, I'm still searching, finally earning something, finally turning something called a profit. If I hear you talking shit, don't get caught in it. I'll be popping off and hit your ass, dropping all your shit. Yeah, I promise this.
Yeah, I figured you guys would show up. Yeah, I figured that would happen. So, again, Huey, you believe I ran away, or did my connection get lost and I lost all my the hangouts and my stream and had to restart? Or was I scared? I'm sure you were listening on the other side. I'm pretty sure you heard it. I mean, it was pretty clear, unless he muted me. I don't know. Not saying he did, but I know it's possible. I think it's funny how you guys come to your conclusions. No, bro Sanchez did not kick me. No, he did not kick me, Brenda. No. Bro Sanchez did not kick me out of that panel. No. I lost the connection on my side. He did not kick me. Period. I didn't come back. No. See, here's the thing, Huey. He was on my hangout. Now, I wasn't on his. He was on my hangout, which I just started. And if you were here 3 minutes ago, you would have heard me say, I'll start a new hangout. Bro Sanchez, I will email you. I'm sure you'll email me back. You have my email. Don't get shit twisted. Again, Huey, that shit ain't cool. You guys run around acting like someone was fucking running around and shit. That's funny. I didn't run anywhere. If you heard me, then why the fuck would you think I ran anywhere? Understand that. Because when I came back on, go ahead and rewind it, because you can rewind my live streams. I started off, finishing off what I had said. I even backed up a little bit just to make sure everything I had to say was heard. I don't run, I don't hide, and I don't bullshit. I'm not scared to say shit to anybody that I feel that way. I have never in my life ever held back. If I don't like you, you know it. Right? That's all there is to it. It's not about you, Huey. But you came in here pulling that, you ran, you didn't come back. I don't run, Huey. I'm sure you would know that, because I've been trying to debate everyone in your server for months. I don't run. If I have a feeling and I have something to say, I say it. I don't bullshit and I don't hold it back. What you get is me. That's the one thing you guys need to remember. Nope. I don't feel the need to talk to you, Huey. I just don't. I have no plan to fight and argue with each and every one of Bro Sanchez's fans. Ain't gonna happen. Why don't I just go to the big fish? The one, everything you guys are gonna say, I can just go to him and hear it there. No, hey, Thomas, I knew it was going to happen. The thing is, I don't mind him being long-winded at all. That's why, from the whole get-go, I was letting that happen. The problem is when I did start, when he let me talk, I literally get 30 seconds, and he would go on a tangent. Now, what person on earth just allows a grown fucking man to just disrespect him like that? I'm not that type of person. Now, I didn't feel the need to act like a little fucking child in a chair a minute ago either. So, I mean, I don't know what the fuck you guys were watching on his end, or you heard on his end, but I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not a bitch. I'm all about respect, but don't do that. The reason I like live streaming so damn much is because the evidence is right there. I don't give a fuck who you are. Huey, if you thought he handled himself like a grown fucking man, say it now. If you think I cut him off unjustly, let me know. You're not blocked, Huey. You're not blocked. What do you mean, why do we block you? You're here. There are people here that I don't even like, that don't like me. They're all here. You have no idea what you're talking about, Huey. No one's blocked. There's 3 people blocked on my channel, and it's all PMARs. So like I said, I mean, if you want to go back over there, let them know I'm back up and running again, and I'll do another hangout, or tell them to email me, and we can do this, structured, correctly. Start from the beginning, because I have a lot more to say about than the crater in a quarry. I already know he's wrong, and his beliefs obviously are shit at that point. Not because he believed anything, because he clearly stated, rewind it if you like, facts will not change his beliefs. Does that make any fucking sense? And then you can try to add the whole, you trust other... No, I was trying to. I was really trying to fucking explain to him that it's not just me talking and trusting. I actually know the fucking field because that's my profession. But again, his beliefs know more than I do. And that's exactly right, Danny. We don't. I can tell you right now, I trigger him and he triggers me. But I have kept it as real as I fucking can in our fucking situation. And him the same way. I do not fucking back down. I'm not that type of like. I'm all about respect, guaranteed. But anyone who's ever heard me fucking triggered understands that I'm not that type of person. I'm not the fucking. I'm not gonna lay down and let someone fucking walk all over me, especially on my shit. This is my stream. I don't know what he told you guys over there, where it made it seem like I jumped on his panel. He jumped on my panel. I don't know if that's the narrative over there. I just want to make that clear. And I gave him a lot of fucking time to talk. And everyone here knows damn well I have a lot to fucking say. I think I'm the rant motherfucking master up in this bitch. But he gave me 30 seconds and acts like I'm supposed to be fine with that. Bro Sanchez, if you're a grown man, grown man, you should be able to have a decent conversation without acting like a child in your chair. That's why I didn't have a moderator. That's why I specifically said one-on-one, no moderator in there, because we're both grown men and we can handle ourselves. I'm not even triggered. I'm even at this point. How you got triggered and had a tantrum in your seat. Dude, you have 800 times more subs, views, videos, probably even knowledge about things. But you were the one acting like a child in your chair, man. I know I didn't. I want to know how I know? Because I can rewind this and check that out. Absolutely. Let me get that in there for you, buddy. Sorry about that. I just saw your message. Go ahead and share now. B-ball for life. Sorry about that. But real shit. There are things that some people just don't know enough about to make claims. And then backing out of your claim is kind of foolish. Now, here's the thing. Because I've heard this before. No, I didn't claim it was flat. I thought it was flat. I made it very clear my observations of flat were based on what you see when you look around. And I was wrong. I'm sorry. But I can admit I'm wrong. I don't have to bounce in my chair acting like my beliefs are godly. But again, Bro Sanchez, I'm not just some guy that just decided to lie. I've been in the background. I know exactly what goes on. If you'd like me to really get into everything and why I feel that way, we can do that offline. But I'm not a nobody, dude. I may not have the subs you do, but that's also because I don't advertise. But yeah. Oh, did he really? Yeah, no. Let's make that clear. Again, I was not on Bro Sanchez's panel. Bro Sanchez was on my panel. I was not on his panel. I can even show you. I have receipts. But, I mean, I'm not going to lie. Danny, Jeff, it is good seeing you guys again. I like seeing your names. Kind of gave me a little smile for a second. I hate you both, but maybe smile for a second. But again, I want to make it clear. Bro Sanchez did not snipe me. He It was not his fault at all. Yeah, that dude's crazy. I have that video too. Yeah, that's some funny shit. Well, see, here's the thing, 6 Mile. I did, and I have been, but at the same time, I want that to be seen, because when I was talking, I was making it clear that he was doing so. Trust me, I get triggered very easily. I made sure I didn't. Ultimately, I did exactly what an adult does when it's time to have a discussion. I would think someone with his knowledge, his endless uploads, would be able to handle himself calmly and not freak out like a fucking child. That makes no sense to me. But I'm sorry. Is there anybody in this chat that can tell me your beliefs outweigh facts? Now, again, what I was saying before, his panel, the narrative, that's why he gets away with all that shit, because they're yes men. I've already said this before. I've had him on my panel, and they sounded completely different. They sounded pretty confused, to tell you the truth. In fact, I'll tag that video to this card so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. Now, my understanding changed, but I didn't flip-flop. I didn't trust anyone. I simply understood what the fuck I was seeing. And even more importantly, I was willing to learn, shut the fuck up, and listen. Because, bro, Sanchez, remember, you said it, man. You can't be a teacher till you've been a student.
But my legs heavy, I don't get it. How come I haven't hit it already? Still working, I'm still learning, I'm still searching, finally earning something, finally turning something called a profit. If I hear you talking shit, don't get caught in it. I'll be popping off and hit your ass, dropping all your shit. Yeah, I promise this, I got promises. You ain't stopping this, cross my shit, you'll be knocked unconscious, bitch. That's the consequence, I got this, I will not quit. Man, I'm on it, honest. I'm gonna launch quick, then I'm gone. It's just a matter of time before I'm over the climb and moving under my prime. Just quit my 9 to 5, I'm rocking, and they watching, cause it's shocking. Dropping all these top 10 songs, so stopping. It's time to live my life, it's time to live, not die. It's time to live, not die.